Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind-the-scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Snarf Comics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode. We back.
Hey,
here he is.
I'm excited.
I am too. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
here, Christopher.
It's been a couple weeks.
It has.
Not for y'all.
No, because we are a weekly podcast.
Because we are professionals and we record ahead.
You know, we've done a lot better at this.
But I had to get out of town. I had to get out of Dodge and go down to the Arkansas.
You know,
Eureka Springs.
I haven't been to Arkansas in a while. How is it?
It's lovely.
Is it? I really like that state.
Eureka Springs is a super cool little town in the middle of the mountains, and it's like an artist colony. There's like artists and music and all kinds of things going on, shopping. It's like a touristy town. This weekend was diversity weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
Diversity
so it was
weekend.
like I didn't go into town because I was doing other things, but they were having like their gay pride parades and all that stuff going on, and
I see.
it was packed. Let me tell you, there was like a bajillion people there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very, very crowded. So I didn't really go in to Eureka Springs. I stayed in Holiday Island.
Holiday Island,
just right outside. It's a retirement.
I've never heard of that.
Retirement community right outside Eureka Springs.
Because I've heard of Eureka Springs a lot, but when my grandparents lived there, they lived like down by Texarkana.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
You don't know where Texarkana is?
Is it by Texas?
It is.
Is
Arkansas and Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
No. This is
you know Hope? Have you heard of Hope,
yeah.
Arkansas?
Isn't that where the Clintons are from?
Yeah, so it's a little bit further south than Hope.
Eureka Springs is like almost on the border of Missouri.
Yeah, it's
up by Branson.
North. What's it take you to get there?
Like 8 hours.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
Huh.
Takes a long time once you get off at Springfield because there's like no good roads. It's real curvy and mountainous.
I've made it to my grandparents in like 10 before. Normally it'd be like 11 to 11 and a half.
Yeah, it's probably like 7, but then by the time you stop
really fast.
So yeah, that's what I was doing.
I didn't go anywhere. Stayed home, did the whole, I have a job thing. Baseball all the time. Snarf Talk T-ball team started today. We had super practice. It went well, I think. We have a very young team.
Yeah, we had our first Snarf T-ball practice.
Yeah, Snarf ball. I think that's what we're going to call it, right?
It went very well.
It did. For such a young team, I think they listened very well. We
got some real talent, folks.
Yeah, I mean, dead ringer is what I would call it. But that was good. I'm glad to get the first one out of the way. And I had to adjust it because of rain. Nobody likes rain. I feel like
worked out well for me though.
Did it?
Well, yeah, because I left on Thursday. I would have missed the practice
Thursday.
anyway.
But I moved it up this week too, though, because Thursday's supposed to rain again.
Right.
And Wednesday's supposed to rain again, and I don't want to play inside.
No.
I want the kids outside.
Yeah.
Breathe the fresh air. Get them tired.
I like it.
So this is, what is it? Third week? Fourth week. Fourth week of Snarf Madness.
Yeah.
Number 4.
4 out of, what is there, 6 or 7 total?
I don't know. You tell me, Christopher. No, there's 4. This is
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, no, 5, right?
Well, I don't know how
5.
that works. Well, you kind of count the championship.
That's true. So it is 6.
Yeah.
Darn it.
So we are on round 4, everybody.
Round 4.
I'm pretty excited about this. Everybody's very excited about this bracket challenge.
Yeah. So are we gonna? Do you want to score? Do you want to talk about the scores from the third round of our brackets that have been input?
Oh, we can.
or do you want to give our round 4 selections?
Let's do round 4 first.
See, now I was going to say the exact opposite of you and say, I say we score round 3.
Okay, let's do it.
You think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, for...
This round separated the pack a little bit.
You know, it did, but mine was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But right off the bat, we're just going to...
I got some winners, folks, I got some losers, folks.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Heather under the bus right away.
Yeah, it's like a freight train coming down the tracks.
Gosh, I'm sorry, Heather, but you got a solid 6. So every pick you get 3 points this round.
That's right.
So as you can see, Heather got 2 correct out of 8.
Okay, she got 3 correct out of my bracket.
Okay. All right, there you go. So Heather got a 6 for me. And then we go into Alex. He got 15.
Ooh.
That's 5 right. 5 out of 8.
He got 15 for me, too.
Really? Okay.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
It was a 3-way tie for mine between Dude, Alex, and Maggie and Zach.
Oh, wow.
And they all scored 15.
Ooh, I've got... I don't have that. I've got a 3-way tie for people that scored like in second place this round, and then 1 clear winner. So Jason got 9. So
he was my worst.
Was he?
He got 6. He only got 2 right.
Oh, see, that's Heather got 6 for me. Jason got 9, and then I've got Ian, Maggie, and Dude all have 12.
Okay.
They all did. I mean, that's a good score.
Ian and Heather tied with 9. In second to last place for mine, and then Erica got 12, and then the rest of the 3 tied. There are some more brackets, folks. We just we haven't been scoring them, so there's a couple more brackets that we're not
Erica
releasing.
For me had a score of 18.
Wow.
She got 6 right, 6 out of 8.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty solid score right there. Erica is a clear leader in my bracket challenge because she had the highest score in 2 out of the 3 rounds.
I totaled them all up, and leading the pack on Chris's Snarf Madness bracket is Alex with 60.
Wow.
Very close as Erica, though, with 59. And then I have a tie between Dude and Maggie for 54. And then it goes down from there. Ian, 46, so he definitely still in the running, Ian. Jason with a 38 and Heather with a 35. I mean, technically anybody could still win, but I would say Jason and Heather not looking good.
No, I didn't total them all up. I guess I should have. You should have told me
that doesn't
before
matter.
We went on air.
Doesn't matter.
But I've got a clear winner right now, and that is Erica.
Maybe we shouldn't be releasing scores to keep the suspense a little more.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
this is the last one where we divulge the scores, because at this point it's really anybody's game. So.
And to be honest, you could be keeping track on your own.
But they don't know what the other people's brackets are.
That is true. Clear winner on my part at the moment, but it is very close with Erica and Ian. Ian and Erica are like neck and neck.
Alex has got to be up there on yours too.
Alex is definitely up there because he was the winner of round 1 for me. But round 2, he took kind of a hit in round 2. Erica in round 2 had 28 points. Alex only had 16. That's a...
But remember, folks, we're round 4 tonight. They're worth 4 points each.
Yes. Round 4 could really bring you back.
And the next round, they're worth 6 points each. So they're so close. All these scores are so close.
For sure.
Especially on mine between Alex and Erica and Dude and Maggie and Ian. You guys are really all pretty close.
And all of the brackets are very close.
Except for Heather.
Right.
Boom,
boom, boom, boom. I feel like that was like a Seinfeld thing. Boom.
I was doing the Price is Right.
I see. Yeah, when you get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like on the Plinko. Plinko's my favorite.
Really? What about
the golf one?
What about the mountain climber?
Oh, darn. He's really good, too. And they do like do they do the mouse race or a horse race or something that goes around?
Yeah, they do a horse race.
No, I thought it was mice.
I don't know. They probably do that, too.
No, maybe it is horses.
Let's get Drew Carey in here. Drew.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, let's ask Mike, our producer. Mike, look up the mouse race and the horse race. We want to put it on the Put it on the big screen. This is our producer.
Yeah.
We couldn't do this without him.
you
Mr.
guys-
Michael Sheedy over there in the corner.
Michael Sheedy. Where did that come from?
That's who it is. Michael
oh,
Sheedy.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Oh, I see him. Okay, round 4 for us. It's
go time, folks.
It is go time. And I think we're kind of different here. I think we're kind of different.
Well, in my top left bracket, I have Rogue One versus Deadpool.
And I also have Rogue One, but Logan.
What a coincidence.
I have Logan better than Deadpool, which we know if you've listened to the previous podcast.
Which you should go back and listen to.
Yeah, I would agree. So, Rogue One versus Logan. Dang. I love Logan a lot. It's a phenomenal movie. I love the rated R aspect. I love that it's the end of Logan. I talk about it every time. I think it's phenomenal. But Rogue One is a better movie. I picked Rogue One.
Rogue One for Gerald.
Yes.
I have Rogue One versus Deadpool, like I said.
What a joke.
And I don't know. It's a toughie.
Really?
Yeah, it really is.
You haven't picked, right?
No, I haven't picked.
Okay, because I've already picked mine out, so
Yeah.
it's not a surprise to me as to what I'm going
Right.
to pick.
I mean, I feel like Deadpool is... Oh, come on. It's Rogue One.
Okay, I was going to say.
Let's give it up.
I don't know what you're going to pick, ever. You've surprised me on multiple aspects
I know,
of this
but
bracket.
I love Rogue One.
Yeah?
And we've talked about this movie a bajillion times.
Yeah.
It is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, which is
Yeah.
kind of a...
That doesn't surprise me. Because I've been battling back and forth on what is my favorite Star Wars movie.
It's so hard to rank them because they're
gosh.
different, you know. Especially Rogue One is so different
They are.
than all the other ones. Really, it feels like, I don't know. I think it did a really good balance of bringing in all the great aspects of Star Wars, but also advancing certain things forward.
Yeah, I would agree. And obviously the tie-in.
Yeah, the tie-in's amazing.
I don't know if there's another Star Wars movie that you can have that tie-in, that you get
Oh, sure.
that amount of tie-in because of the basis of the story.
No, I'm sure you could.
You think so?
It's such a big universe.
I mean, it's giant.
There's lots of... I mean, you could do a similar thing with a whole Boba Fett movie.
Oh gosh, you're right.
You know what I mean?
The whole Mandalorian thing's gonna start. That's a TV show.
Pretty excited about that.
When does that start?
Whenever the Disney streaming app comes out.
Oh, that's soon, right?
And like in the fall. They haven't released the date yet.
Oh, it'll probably be this year. Okay, next bracket. I had Captain America Civil War versus Game of I was going to say Game of Thrones.
Of Thrones.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is that what you had? Okay, so
Yeah.
you had Lego Movie beating... Or Civil War beating Lego Movie, huh?
Of course.
See, I didn't have Civil War. I had
I know.
Extra Tomorrow, so... I have Lego Movie versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow.
So you go with yours, because
Wow.
yours is going to be a real difficult one, I feel like.
It is a real... At first, that's a real difficult one. But
Now let me give you a little bit of podcast history, because we did our top 10 Marvel movies, right?
We did.
And Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, was not in your top 10. I don't believe.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think so.
Yes, absolutely, 100% it was.
It was?
Yes.
Okay. Scratch all that.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Okay, so...
both Guardians of the Galaxy were in my top 10.
And it doesn't matter, like we've said before, we change our minds. We move stuff around.
Sure. It's not, we're not perfect, okay? I'm as close as you could get, probably, if you look, especially, physique-wise, if you look at me. But, okay, so I had Civil War versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Civil War, I said it before, is like a perfect meld of all of the Marvel superheroes. But Guardians of the Galaxy was like a groundbreaking thing.
You're taking two different genres of comic book movies.
Yeah.
What I love now is that comic book movies themselves has become a genre.
It is.
So there's
time.
there's a variety now because of things like Avengers and Deadpool and Logan and movies like this that were groundbreaking
Yeah.
within that genre, it's allowed it to be its own category now. That isn't going anywhere.
It is. And I think Guardians
And
of
those,
the Galaxy
those
is
are
even
two
different. It's so much different
Well,
than what
that's
Civil
what I mean.
War is.
In
Yeah.
the genre of comic book movies, you have a kind of flashy team up movie.
Yep.
You know, bring all the heroes together, a little bit of fun, you know, interjected in it. Also a phenomenal villain that I really enjoyed. I recently saw a list that was ranking the villains in the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
And they had what's his name now? Zemo, right?
Yeah. Baron von Zemo.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in the movie, but I'm sure they don't call him Baron von Zemo or Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo. Yeah. That's right. Baron Zemo, isn't it? I'll have to look it up. Boy.
I don't know, but they have him like way up on the list. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I highly
The reason I love that character is because his motivations were so simple. It was just like revenge.
Yep. That's all it is.
And like the knowledge that I'm not able to do this, so I need to get them to go against each other. But in any case, so you have that style movie versus Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of more of a sci-fi romp in the vein of the Star Wars universe, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. It's way more sci-fi, but it's so fun. Everything about it is so fun, and it brings characters to life that you've never seen before. And most people never even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy prior to this movie, even though it was a comic book. And the comic book people that knew about it were like, what the hell are they doing?
Well,
what are they going to try to do with this group of characters? And they brought it to life, man, and it's so good. So I have Guardians of the Galaxy beating Civil War.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I was going to say there's another difference, too, because that first Guardians of the Galaxy was building a new world, whereas Civil War exists in an already built world.
Yes, that's a good point.
And maybe that's one of the reasons
That's a very good point.
why Guardians of the Galaxy stands out so much, because it is a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. A new fantastic point of view.
We've sang this probably 2 or 3 times now.
We have?
I think so. Yeah, I know you've sang it at least once.
Upon a shooting star, we've gone so far, but now we're only dreaming.
Just because Disney owns all of this stuff doesn't mean you have to sing Disney songs.
I'm just really excited about that live action Aladdin movie.
I know. I want to see it a lot too.
And I falsely said, now that they've had another trailer out, that it looked like it was a shot-for-shot remake. And you see more footage now, and I don't think it is. But they did take a lot of similar scenes and put them in there. Anyway, nobody cares about this. Everybody's in the bracket challenge. So you picked Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did.
I have Lego Movie versus Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Lego Movie. I think it's a great, wonderful movie. I love kids' movies that are enjoyable for adults.
Of course.
I like that it was groundbreaking. I like everything about it. But for me, that's not even close. It's Guardians of the Galaxy for sure. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 10 movies of all time, not comic book movies.
Yeah, it's
total
in the whole
movies.
movies of all time. You need to, if you haven't listened to any of these guys, you need to go back and listen to them because they're pretty good.
But you know what else is in my top 10 movies of all time? Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And my next matchup is going to be Rogue One versus Guardians of the Galaxy. So, guys, you need to tune in next week because it's going to get... I'm just going to be, like, punching myself in the face.
Yes.
My two different... what do they call that? Like, the ego and the id?
I don't know. You're talking way beyond me.
Like
You're
psychology, you know?
Yeah, I'm not a psychologist by any means.
I am.
I know. No, I know you are. That's why.
I actually
you're way
have
beyond
a
me.
Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
I don't believe that. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay. Like, no, that's exactly what I have.
Actually, it's not true. I graduated 3 hours short of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you had like a graphic design.
Nah,
Graphic arts.
I majored in advertising.
Oh, I was way off.
No, that's not, because we did a lot of graphic design as an advertising major.
Oh, because I could have sworn it was graphic design.
Beside the point, my left brackets for my, what is it called? The Final Four? Is it the Final Four?
Not.
Yeah.
Well, it will be.
Next week
Yeah.
will be Rogue One versus Guardians of the Galaxy. And yours will be the same.
And it'll be exactly the same.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
So,
top right.
Yeah. I've got Thor versus Inception.
God Dang it, Jerry. I got Thor versus Inception too.
You do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I didn't remember that. All right. So I love Thor as a superhero because he's like super powerful, and I love the fact that in Avengers, like Infinity War, he really starts to realize. Well, it starts in Hulk or Ragnarok. He starts to really come into like his power and realizing his power. In Infinity War, he starts to use it a lot more. Endgame, I do believe you're gonna see how badass like Thor really is, because Thor's like super badass. If you follow any of the comic books, Thor is freaking badass.
I've not followed Thor in the comic books all that much.
Check out Jason Aaron's Thor.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I honestly don't think I've ever read an individual Thor comic book.
Really?
Per se. I mean, I've seen him in the Avengers. My familiarity with Thor would be more in the animated movies and stuff like that, and some of the cartoons.
Oh.
For his other than the Marvel movies, of course. So
yeah,
I'm not deep on the Thor character, to be honest.
I started checking out Thor more because of the movies.
They do a lot of cool things with that character, what it sounds like, especially in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Jason Aaron is the one who's done it. We saw him. Well, we didn't see him. He was there. We should have saw him. No, we did. We did see him. He was standing there. We just didn't go up to him at C2E2.
Because we were shy.
We were shy people. And there was a bunch of people standing around him, and I don't feel like milling around behind other people waiting to like say, oh, hey, I didn't plan on buying any of your stuff.
But we were milling around smartly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just one of my favorite expressions, by the way.
Smartly?
Milling around smartly.
Is
never heard that expression?
That whole thing is an expression?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of this.
Really?
Milling around smartly.
Yeah.
No. Nope. Never heard of it. That's not a thing.
We're going to find out. Milling around smartly. Yeah, it is a thing.
It is?
Yeah.
Golly.
It's so difficult, guys, because I don't have my laptop with me today.
Yeah, he doesn't. So he's over there clicking away on his big-ass keyboard.
I have like a Bluetooth keyboard to our big screen monitor on the wall, and I got to like override Michael every time I do anything.
Michael, stop it.
Okay.
Thor versus Inception. Again, I love Thor. The character is phenomenal. I love him, but Inception is just beyond a Thor movie. So Thor movies like Thor, it's Thor Ragnarok, but either way, Inception is like a so much deeper movie than you can get even in Thor Ragnarok. It's a super fun movie. I love it in the world of, or in the genre, like you said, of comic book movies. But Inception in the world of sci-fi movies is like, they did something you've never seen before. Like nobody has ever seen a movie like Inception before Inception came out.
Yeah.
And really, you haven't seen one since then. A lot of people say like, ooh, that's like Inception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or like tie other things into a Inception. So that right there shows you that Inception did something nobody else has ever done, and you probably won't really see that style of movie again. I guess I shouldn't say style, but that story. I mean, you're not going to see that story again.
Right.
I loved everything about it, so I have Inception beating Thor Ragnarok.
That literally blows my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the movie Inception.
Yeah.
Really love it.
No, I was not expecting that.
Literally love
I think that's
Inception.
a bracket buster.
It could be. Yeah, it really could be.
I also have Thor Ragnarok versus Inception.
Yeah, and I would love to see what you're going to pick right now.
It's a difficult one. Everything you said about Inception's 100% true.
It's just wild, man. You don't see that kind of crap anywhere. And
but
the story itself is so new.
The butt's coming, Jerry.
Okay. Let me get that butt.
Until I got this list, I could completely forgotten about Inception as a movie. You know?
Oh, really?
You know, I maybe have seen it a couple times. I love it. I think it's great. Obviously, I have it in the Elite 8.
But see, to me, I feel like I've referenced, not necessarily referenced a specific line or anything in from the movie Inception. I've just referenced Inception.
I think pop culture references Inception a lot, and it will always. You hear about things being Inception-like, or there's lots of references back to that movie. However, for me, just for me.
Don't you feel like that's kind of a big deal?
I think it's a better movie. Yes. I mean, I think it's a better movie.
There's your
probably.
pick then, I guess.
No, that's not my pick. Because I picked Thor Ragnarok. And I'll tell you why.
Okay, I would love to hear it.
Because that's what I do.
Because that's what you pick, Thor Ragnarok over everything.
No, honestly, for me, I think Thor Ragnarok is a more entertaining movie. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's definitely going to be one that I watch more going forward.
Yeah,
it's
I would
not.
agree.
It's one I'm not going to forget about.
But
like
you
the way I have
specifically
Inception.
Said rewatchability is not necessarily mean it's a better movie.
It's part of a criteria.
It is.
Okay, so for me, more rewatchability, more humor, more well-rounded movie, maybe less intriguing but more fun. And what are movies if not supposed to be fun, Jerry?
They are. You're right.
Inception is a thinker, and that's another good thing about movies. But I have to go with Thor Ragnarok just because maybe it's just fresher. I don't know. But I also like that it built itself in a world, and it couldn't exist without a whole world of movies before it. And then it was integral to the movies going forward.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going Thor Ragnarok all day.
All day. Thor Ragnarok.
That's right.
I still went Inception, and I think it's better. So, I'm sorry.
I'm going to... I can't really disagree with that. It's just I picked Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I get it. We're two different people.
Yeah.
You know, from two different worlds.
Two sides of the same coin? Does that apply?
No.
Not really, does it?
I'm a completely different coin.
You're a different
altogether.
coin. Like,
I'm more of like a dime.
And I'm a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Something that's worth a lot more objectively
right, you're
and
just
in reality.
You're just worth more.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like size-wise. Like that's it. I was just literally thinking size-wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anywho, next bracket I have, what is it?
If you're a dime, I'm probably more like a silver dollar.
Holy smokes.
Like 10 times your value as a person.
I would not go that far. I mean, I could tell you quarter, 15 cents more than me.
Oh, no, I'd go with silver dollar.
Nah, I'd definitely go maybe quarter.
I'm $100 bill.
Y'all. Captain America, the First Avenger versus, oh man, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
And I have Looper versus Spider-Man.
Wow, guys. This is not good. I see what I picked here.
But you're having second thoughts.
I'm not. No, the more I look at it, it is a very good matchup. Boy, do I love Captain America, the First Avenger. It's like it holds this, and in the beginning, if you look, it's a number 12.
Yeah, well,
it's a 12 seed. That's ridiculous.
I mean, Spider-Man. Oh, is a number 2 seed. Okay, well, the seeds are so dumb, so I don't want to hear about seeds.
It is dumb. Okay, well, Captain America versus Spider-Man. I went Spider-Man.
Okay.
I
wholeheartedly agree with your decision there.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's on a different level.
It is on a completely different level. It's animated, obviously, compared to live action, but Captain America started everything off. It's a good movie in that aspect. But Into the Spider-Verse, man, that just set a whole new tone. Like it literally, I feel like it put the Marvel universe in a whole different, like a whole different level.
Yeah.
It put everything in a whole different level of what you could make in a movie or what a superhero or comic book movie could be.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to change that. So definitely, yeah, I mean, that's, you ain't going to get any better than that anytime soon, I don't think. If they do, holy smokes. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know how I can sustain this.
They tease Spider-Man 2099.
Oh yeah, they do.
Which is one of my favorites.
And it's, I mean, maybe they will do it better, but I just don't see them doing Spider-Man, like any Spider-Man movie, better than this one at the moment.
Well, I bought Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse since our last podcast.
Okay.
And rewatched it. I have Spider-Man versus Looper, by the way. A more difficult decision since Looper's a better movie than Captain America: The First Avenger.
Silly. That is
Objectively
silly.
and realistically.
See, this is where it really brings you down from a silver dollar to a quarter. Right there. That brought you down.
Well,
Your worth dropped.
But
terrible.
I'm also going Spider-Man here because I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse... Well, okay. So, for your average moviegoer, I would say... I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to go with Looper just because it's not animated.
No, a lot of people wouldn't have gotten Looper this close.
Well, okay. Insert other movie here.
Okay.
You know,
a better one like Captain America?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I think most people would look at that and say, hey, it's an animated movie. They probably wouldn't even give it a chance to begin with. But then even if they did, they'd have a hard time getting that out of their mind. So I could see where people would go the other direction. But those people are wrong because Spider-Man's the shit. Into the Spider-Verse is awesome.
He's awesome.
Upon rewatching that movie, it was even better than the first time I saw it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I will rewatch that movie again this week.
Oh, yeah.
And probably about 20 other times this month.
That's a lot.
And how amazing is the end? What does he say? What does he say when he's jumping off the buildings at the end and he's like, we're all Spider-Man. We can all
be Spider-Man. Or we can all it's something behind the mask. It's like we can all be Spider-Man behind the mask or something like that.
That very end of the movie when he is finally like jumping around, flipping around town, he has that line.
Yep.
You're just like so amped up. You're just like,
yes. When he's doing it on his own, and then I mean just some of the imagery when he is flipping off of the buildings, and it's just amazing.
The imagery in total, but all the characters too. I love Spider-Gwen, one of my favorite characters in the comic books.
Spider-Gwen Seedentop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to call her.
If we had a girl instead of a boy for our last child, I wanted to name the child Gwen.
Yeah.
After Spider-Gwen, but I couldn't because
you had a boy.
Well, because of a boy, but because the name was stolen.
It was already taken.
It was taken.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, oh well.
Mr. David Liam Neeson Seedentop.
He is a Liam Neeson if I've ever seen one in my life.
Oh wait, what? Liam Neeson didn't take anything.
He had something taken from him.
So I'm Liam Neeson.
You would have been the Neeson.
I could be a Liam Neeson.
He's super racist too, I guess.
No,
right?
come on. Come on.
That's what everyone's saying. We're not getting into that. You don't want to get into the race wars?
So I picked Spider-Man. So I got Thor Ragnarok versus Spider-Man in the final four. So I got Rogue One, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man.
I've got Rogue One.
What a bracket there.
Rogue One, Guardians of the Galaxy, Inception, Spider-Man.
One of those things that's not like the other, Gerald.
It's not. And we don't need to be the same, Christopher.
Well, that's fine. So tune in next week, guys, for the Final Four.
Yeah, Final Four.
We're going to find out our championship picks next week. I'm excited.
So am I, because
I don't know.
I don't think you're gonna
listen,
believe
guys,
what I pick.
I have Rogue One versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know.
So do you.
I know.
I don't even know what I'm going to do. It makes my heart hurt to have to make that decision right now.
The whole thing, what I was going to do is I was going to get 2 raccoons. I was going to put Guardians of the Galaxy taped on one back and Rogue One taped on the other.
Rocket raccoons?
Yep. And I was going to have them fight each other.
That's
I was going to get them really mad and have them fight each other in like a plastic tub of some sort, like one of them...
like a Rubbermaid?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, like a Rubbermaid.
You might need to
put them in a Rubbermaid and shake it around.
Like a horse trough, maybe a better venue.
Whichever one comes out living.
That's your pick.
That's my pick. It's kind of like the puppy bowl,
It's kind of like the puppy bowl.
Yeah, except we're 2 raccoons fighting.
To the death and less cute puppies.
Yeah, but raccoons are
tripping
cute.
over footballs.
Yeah, is that what they do?
I've never watched.
I just know that they have puppies and they fight over bones.
So guys, Final Four championship picks will be next week. Alex is in first place in my bracket.
Erica is definitely in first in mine.
So,
because we're like the same.
But Erica and Alex are neck and neck. Who knows?
Ian's up there though too. Don't be throwing shade on Ian because he's up there.
And dude, he's up there. And
he's not.
I got
up
a lot
there,
of people up there,
I'm sorry.
except for Heather.
Sorry, dude. You're not up there in mine.
Poor Heather.
And yeah, Heather, come on. I mean, you were supposed to match us.
Sad walking away music.
I don't know what he said.
Oh, like from The Incredible Hulk?
Okay, go
But the
ahead.
TV show? It's like do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. And he's walking away and he's like got his thumb out because he's hitchhiking.
Oh.
You've never watched The Incredible Hulk?
I have a lot. I just don't remember the music to him sad walking away.
Well, look it up on YouTube. I would love to insert it into right now, but I think that would be illegal.
Probably. But we've got that one guy on retainer, remember?
Yeah, maybe we should.
That back alley lawyer?
Should we? I can't. I don't have my computer with me. In any case.
If Glenn Lerner's the lawyer for you, call 866-2222. That's our lawyer on retainer.
Yeah.
That's free advertisement for Glenn Lerner. I'll take some money.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cha-ching.
That's why.
Speaking of money, did you get us a sponsor yet?
No, I haven't. Comixology never got back to me.
We also have an interview coming up. We got a guy
crap.
we're going to interview who has written a series of sci-fi books.
He has.
I have to get back to him. If you're listening to the podcast, we're not putting you off. We just have to finish this bracket stuff. And we also would like to be able to read some of your
need
books.
to read your book. It looks good.
So we'll get back to you.
Yep, that's gonna happen soon. We've got him, and then there's another guy that needed there's another comic writer that we have not forgotten about with the Wrestle.
No. Well, he didn't want to interview. No, it was the guy who's got Villains Seeking Heroes.
Yeah, but we need to do a review of the rest.
Yeah, we got to do. We got to.
thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that needs to be added. The Villain Seeking Hero guy.
But now,
yeah, we're good. We'll get it.
Gerald,
But now I got
Leopold, Snyder,
Archibald,
the fifth
Esquire.
Mm-hmm. What's the news?
I've got some. It's going to be a little bit of a mix of what you're watching and news put together.
Okay.
Because I've watched some things that have been newsworthy, which is including trailers.
Okay. Perfect.
A lot of trailers have come out.
A lot of stuff.
Have you
happening.
noticed this?
Yeah, I have. It's trailer season.
It really is. So I'm going to start off with our favorite type of news, and that has to deal with Suicide Squad.
Poor old Suicide Squad.
Gosh. It's like every week Suicide Squad has a new news article, and I don't know why. Why are people still talking about this? Why do I talk about this? I don't know. But I do, because it's so ridiculous. So turns out when I talked about Idris Elba playing Deadshot, right? He was taking over Will Smith's role. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Well, Idris Elba's in the movie. He's just playing a completely different character, and they got rid of Deadshot.
What?
Yeah.
What's the character?
Not even, they have never released it yet.
But it's still James Gunn.
James Gunn's doing it. They got rid of Deadshot, though. Why would you get rid of Deadshot?
There's a bunch of characters they can use.
But he was the best character in the movie.
Maybe they're going to give him his own movie because he should have his own movie.
Well, they better now because...
Or he should just be in a Batman movie because he's a perfect Batman villain.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Deathstroke would be a good Batman villain, too.
But they're not going to put Deadshot in the Batman. The one that's...
Maybe they will.
I don't think so. Because it's like more of a detective-y movie. And I feel like you'd have to have too many fights with Deadshot.
You can totally have a detective story based around an assassin. They do it in the Arkham games with Deadshot.
True. Yeah, you're right.
And you got to go around. Remember, you got to go around town and find his bullet paths and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In Arkham, I think Arkham City.
Arkham City. Yes, it was. That was the second game, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Well, either way, Deadshot's not in the movie. Idris Elba's playing a completely different character, and
I hope he's playing Amanda Waller.
You caught me off guard with that. Wait a minute. I don't think he will. He is a good actor, but I don't think he could be a good actress.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah, he's okay.
Very good.
He's okay.
He's good. He's British.
Okay.
He's British.
He is.
He's got nice teeth.
Right. He's a right bit of British.
Oh, what? That's my favorite
what
type
if I did the rest of the podcast in a British accent?
Oh, my gosh. You could do it.
Okay.
That wasn't good at all. What was that?
Sir Gerald Leopold Snyder V. Well, that sounded like the Foghorn Leghorn a little bit.
It did kind of. And I'm just going to keep saying.
I do declare.
What?
I do declare.
What?
I loved Foghorn Leghorn. He should get a movie.
I think he has.
Live action movie.
Oh, that's impossible.
No. Just feather a guy up.
Tar and feather.
Feather up a big old fat actor.
Yeah.
As
You know
a
who could
chicken.
have done him good, I think? Or well, that sounded terrible. Done him good is John Candy.
John Candy as Foghorn Leghorn.
He could have done it.
Yeah.
He
could have.
He could have. One of my favorite characters that John Candy ever did was Barf in Spaceballs.
Oh, yeah.
Half
Barf.
man, half dog.
But
I'm my own
Foghorn
best friend.
Leghorn is a bit of a southern aristocrat.
He is a southern gentleman.
And John Candy had a bit of a high-pitched voice.
He was Canadian. Canadian bacon.
Yeah, he was Canadian.
I know.
A lot of
So I guess John Goodman.
John
John
Goodman would be a fantastic Foghorn Leghorn, if I do say so myself.
He would. He's played a lot of southern
Yeah.
aristocrats.
I could see him as a big chicken sitting on a porch drinking a mint julep.
Yes. Betting on the ponies.
What was the point? I don't remember any of the storylines that revolved around Foghorn Leghorn.
I don't
What was
either.
he doing?
He was chasing hens.
Oh, was that what he was doing?
I think that was literally it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was kind of a chauvinist. Okay? Womanizer.
Henanizer.
He would have voted for Trump.
Oh, wow. Getting a little political there.
Yeah, it was. That was funny. I did that.
Well,
I don't know
Mr.
even
Snyder, how dare you, sir? How dare you?
I do declare, Mr. Snyder. That's funny. How did it get political from Foghorn Leghorn? That's fun.
Just because I'm a southern gentleman.
Well, put your beak away.
All right.
Let's get into another one. So this trailer came out that I am very intrigued.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily like sold on it because I'm not a huge zombie guy.
Oh.
And it's a new type of zombie movie.
You know they're remaking World War Z? Or making another one?
Oh, they are?
That's supposed to be closer to the book.
I read the book.
The book's great.
The book is
The
great.
movie was pretty good.
I literally never watched it because I knew it wasn't anything like the book.
It isn't. Sorry to derail you. Go
No,
ahead.
that's fine. I'm not a huge zombie guy. I like it. I think it's fun. I've just been falling away from that lately. But this movie has quite the cast. It is called The Dead Don't Die.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen the trailer, but that's the one with Bill Murray and...
It's got... I'll read you the list. This isn't all of them, but this is the main ones. It's Adam Driver, Bill Murray, Chloe Savini.
I don't know who that is.
You do if you saw her. Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Selena Gomez.
Nice.
Plus more.
Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
Like the Selena
The
Gomez?
Selena Gomez. If I knew any of her songs, I would sing one right now, so you knew it.
Man, there's one song I know.
Her and the Biebs used to be real big together. You know, Justin Bieber. I don't know if you're up on
I
that.
thought that was Ariana Grande.
Her too, I think. But Selena Gomez was the first main squeeze of the Biebs.
Okay. I don't know.
Now he's married. Did you know that?
No.
He is.
I didn't know
He's
that.
married to one of the Baldwin girls.
Like Billy Baldwin's girl?
One of the Baldwins. I
It's
don't know.
got to be Steven's girl.
No, I think it's Jesse's.
Jesse's girl.
Yeah, you caught it right away. Good job.
I was actually trying to work my way into that joke, but I couldn't. I couldn't find a way.
I led you into it. You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll take your.
Well, I led
50
you
cent
into
piece.
it actually.
I'll take your $50. Yeah, zombie movie. It looks really fun. Adam Driver looks.
Is it
Is
a comedy?
It is. It's a comedy with like Bill Murray and Adam Driver are two cops.
And Bill Murray played a zombie before.
He did.
In Zombieland.
He's going to be in the next Zombieland. It's confirmed.
How?
I don't know.
Oh,
His character.
I'm super excited about Zombieland too. I'm a big fan of Zombieland.
Yeah. It looks really great. Let's see. Oh, well, the only other trailer I have is a ridiculous one. You had to have seen it.
I don't know.
You didn't? It's like the biggest trailer that dropped in the last week.
I don't know. What is it?
Joker.
Oh, no, I didn't see. Was there a trailer? I thought it was
Yes.
just, I have it on my list. I thought just the poster came out.
No. A whole trailer came out.
All right,
Like
pause
a 2.5
this podcast
minute
while I
trailer,
watch the trailer.
came out. Pause. So,
Or Movie Magic. I just watched that trailer.
yeah, and we're back. Before you speak.
Okay.
Before you speak. So, I have been on record saying
Yeah.
I did not want this movie.
Oh, I'm like the opposite. I've been because I've heard good things.
Yeah.
And I know the people involved with it are good.
But the
been
reason I
excited
have
for
to
the
say
movie.
this now is because we record most things we say now.
Right.
And I have to say, I was on record saying I did not want this movie. I didn't need a Joker. This is where I agreed with Mark Bernardin. So I'm really excited to see what Mark Bernardin says about this. I agreed with Mark Bernardin saying I didn't need a Joker like origin story. But
Especially since there is really no Joker origin story.
exactly, there really isn't. And this is what I was going to get into about this, is that they're kind of taking in this trailer, or in the movie, I think, I mean, from what I gather in a 2.5 minute trailer, they're kind of taking the Killing Joke point of view, you know, by like this
Downtrodden, depressed man.
Yeah, a comedian that gets like, you know, in the Killing Joke, like his family gets killed while he's like doing stand up, and then he comes home and everything's dead. But in this movie, he has an actual name. They've never given a name to Joker before in the comics. Like, you don't know his actual name.
Well, they do in the Killing Joke.
No, they don't. Like in the Killing Joke, it says, because I did a little research, it says in the Killing Joke, he says, sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice.
I could have sworn there was somewhere in something a name for the Joker.
It's not canon if they do, but in this movie, his name's Arthur Fleck.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But if I'm going to say anything at all, I honestly believe that
They have given him on the show Gotham. They're doing Joker now
on
this
the
season.
On the show Gotham,
And
he has
they
a
have
name.
given him a name, although
It's Jerome.
they're
right?
not calling... Well, no, it's not. Okay, I haven't been following the show, but
Yeah.
apparently Jerome was killed and he had a twin brother who is now becoming the Joker.
Have you seen like pictures of the
It's
the
crazy.
Joker?
Yeah.
It is crazy.
And they're still not officially calling him the Joker, though.
Oh, okay.
And their take on that was they don't have the rights to do Joker on TV, even though it's still produced by Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Like, they won't let them do that. So they're approaching the character as a Joker, and their explanation for that is the Joker is the spirit of chaos.
Oh,
so he
okay.
can have different
That's
iterations.
Smart. That's really smart. But what I was going to say back to this trailer, Joaquin Phoenix looks like he's like basically gunning for another Oscar.
Jack Napier is the Joker in the Batman movie.
I know, but that's not canon to comic books is what I'm saying.
Okay, right.
Comic book wise, they've never given a name to the Joker. In movies, sure. But they've never given a name to the Joker like in any comic book. But in this movie, that's why I was saying it looks like they're playing it like the Killing Joke. But in the Killing Joke, they never actually did give him a name.
Okay.
But in this, they did.
Right.
And so obviously it's going to be a little bit different than that.
But this isn't canon either.
No, absolutely not.
This is like an Elseworlds story.
I hope that it is. I hope it is, though, in the movie world. I hope DC starts taking this approach. DC does a phenomenal job. DC has like characters that are so
Rich.
Yeah, rich and deep, and like there is so much story there to a lot of these characters. Like Marvel has good characters. It's just not you can't really take Marvel characters and make a movie like this out of it. Like a deep, brooding, like descent into madness. Like this movie is that. It is going to show you a descent from a guy that looks a little bit troubled, but then has a slow descent into madness and how that happens.
Right.
And he's going to be like, not necessarily a hero, but you'll probably kind of root for him.
He'll be a sympathetic villain.
Yeah.
Until the end, when he's not sympathetic anymore.
It really makes me excited that this is happening.
Yeah.
And now looking at it, it's amazing to me.
So For people that don't know, DC has a concept called Elseworlds, and that allows them to take these characters and make one-off stories that don't exist in canon, but just exist. And they actually had a book called that.
Say that again. I was reading. Sorry.
DC has a thing called Elseworlds, where they can take characters and do one-off stories, and they actually had a book called that, where they could make these types of stories, and that seems to be what they're doing here.
Yep.
This won't be the joke. There won't be another movie where he's fighting Batman. Batman probably won't be in this movie. They might reference him.
Maybe, unless DC goes a whole new way.
Maybe.
You don't know.
Well, after watching that trailer, I mean, my reaction to that is it looks like a really cool and interesting movie. It seems like they could have done this without it being the Joker.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the Joker to be this movie. It could be a standalone something else. And
maybe it should have. We'll find out.
I don't know. I'm really excited about it.
I mean, if you take the whole Joker aspect out of it and just Joaquin Phoenix is playing a clown who descends into madness, it looks like an amazing movie.
Yeah.
All right?
It does.
Where you kind of take a little bit pause, like, okay, what are they doing with this whole Joker thing? Because you just don't know yet. Not that that's bad or good. I'm just saying we don't know yet.
If you watch in the trailer, there are certain scenes where you start to see guys wearing clown masks, like random people that are part of his gang, right? So you start to see how he becomes like a crime boss, I guess it would be.
Right.
But I saw a really cool thing on, it was just in the YouTube comments actually, but a person just had posted, it just had Nicholson, Ledger, Phoenix, and it said, it had what's his name in there too, but I kind of kicked him out because he's weird.
Oh yeah,
Jared Leto. I don't even consider him a Joker. It had Nicholson, gangster, Ledger, the mastermind, and Phoenix, the comedian. But I feel like it's a good description of what each Joker is in each one of those movies. But this is going to be neat.
Forgot about Mark Hamill there.
Well, cartoon, I guess. I guess we're talking about live action.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this. I really do feel like Joaquin Phoenix can win an award for that.
Yeah,
just from the trailer.
It looks really interesting and cool. I'm on board. It's going to make all the money. In
October, yeah. We're going to see it, you and I.
Going to make all of the monies.
You think so?
Yes.
I think it'll make a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
What gets me excited about it is that DC doesn't need to do...
It's a very popular character.
Oh, for sure. DC doesn't need to do the big team-up movies like they did with Justice League and whatnot. I think because of the type of characters that they have in the whole DC world, they need to do like singular good guy, bad guy movies that give you a lot of rich story.
Yeah.
You know?
I think also, and we'll get into talking about this here in a little bit, because they're finding the right formula of like, hey, let's make a $90 million movie.
Yeah.
Let's make a $60 million movie.
Exactly. I guarantee you that movie didn't cost very much to make. It wasn't a $200 million.
Under 100 for sure.
Yeah. Because it's like indie-ish. It's an indie-ish type film.
No, that's a very, very cool. I missed it. I didn't know the trailer was out. I saw on my list here for news was the poster came out. I didn't know that the trailer came out as well. So.
Oh my gosh, you were wrapped up with other things going on.
I was in the Ozarks. I mean,
yeah, you were doing something.
The real world doesn't penetrate the Ozarks.
Ozarkin. Eureka Springs people. That's all I got for like trailers and stuff. I've got what's you're watching.
I got. There was another Hellboy trailer that comes out this weekend.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what already came out?
Yeah.
Shazam.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't went and saw it yet.
That was on my list. Did you not have it on your list?
No, I didn't really.
Okay. Well, Shazam came out and Shazammed.
Did it? I didn't look at any of the.
This is a perfect example of that it had a $90 million budget. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you compare that to every other Marvel movie, they're all over 200 million.
Yep.
So they did that smart. They kept the budget low.
I didn't realize it was that low of a budget for that movie for Shazam.
Yeah, and
that is smart.
It is making a lot of money, and it is
opening weekend. What'd it get?
I just had that up. Opening weekend, it did 53 million domestic, 158 million worldwide.
Wow.
On a $90 million budget.
Holy crap! They made it back basically in the United States almost. They made over half of it back.
And they're calling it a gigantic success. There are some people saying, wait a minute, it only did 56 million or whatever, and Aquaman did 78, or Wonder Woman did 106 or whatever it was. But it got made for less than half the money.
Yeah.
And Aquaman and Wonder Woman both made over $1 billion in the end.
Exactly.
So 158, million dollars on opening weekend worldwide. That movie's going to make 600 million plus.
Easy. I think it'll easily make that.
I don't know if it'll break $1 billion, but
I don't think it'll break $1 billion either. But it's going to get real close. And on, like you said, on a $90 million budget.
And you know what's helping it along? A 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that what the rating is? Holy cow!
One of the highest rated superhero movies of all time on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. It's
supposedly very good.
That gets me excited.
So I will be seeing it this week, and we will report back next week.
When do you want to go see it?
I will go any night this week.
Okay. Well, I can't most nights, but we could Friday.
Cash wants to see it.
Oh, so we can't go like without kids? All right. Yeah, I would bring Grady though too.
Yeah, we can bring Cash and Grady. Go see it.
I think we should. That would be good. I really did want to see it, and I was hoping to see it last weekend, but there was no way for me to do that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to go Saturday either because I'm getting a chicken coop. That's a big deal.
Coop?
Yeah.
That's some news.
Finally found a chicken coop.
You can use.
I was going to build my own, and then I was going to get something from my dad, but then a lady up in Lockport had the exact dimensions and exact like building that I wanted. And she's selling it super cheap.
I was laughing because Amy put it on Facebook that you guys were looking for a chicken coop.
Yeah, a while ago.
And then, like a while ago. But I was just laughing at the threads because people were like, oh, they got a chicken coops here. And you're like, oh, we don't really want to spend anything on a chicken coop. We just, like, if anybody had one,
that wasn't the case.
No, listen. If anybody had one they were getting rid of, like, do you have one? And we'll come take it.
Yeah.
And then somebody put out there, I got one. It's wherever. She's like, oh, it's too far away.
Well, yeah.
But she made the joke on there. She's like, I guess I'm really just looking for a free chicken coop that somebody will bring to my house.
Yeah. Which was the case. Because, like, before she posted that, I was like, I could probably just build one and it'd be a lot quicker. But then I started looking at, like, material cost. And I was like,
it's not worth it.
It's really not.
They have them at Farm and Fleet pretty reasonably
But
cheap.
they're so small.
They are small. That's true.
The small ones, like, I've got 15 chickens, so I need a bigger place for 15.
You got 15 chickens right now?
12, actually.
Where are they?
In my basement. They're little chicks, so, I've got them in a big watering tub.
Nice.
That I found in the barn.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited about them. I love chickens. I had chickens growing up.
I can't have chickens. My dog will go crazy.
Yeah, he would destroy them.
And even if they were in the chicken coop all the time, which they would be, he would just stand in front of it and bark nonstop.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Until he finally figured out a way to get inside.
He would probably claw at
My
it
neighbor
all the time,
has
too.
chickens. My neighbor a quarter mile down the road, and he constantly is running down there. And
oh, really? I didn't
them.
think he left the yard.
Well,
too much.
He was when he found out about those chickens.
Yeah, yeah, that was an issue.
And then he got sent to the dog pound.
Oh no.
Yeah,
he got captured.
He got captured.
Went to jail.
Yep.
Did you have to bail him out?
Yeah. It's
or
very
did you leave
expensive.
him in there?
No, it's very expensive.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Like you have to pay money to get him out of there?
Yeah, it's like $150. No, it's so much a day.
Oh man. So you didn't leave him in.
But if you come get them at 7:00 in the morning when they open, they charge you for the whole day.
Oh.
So we paid like 2 days worth at like, I don't know if it's like $50 or $75 a day. I think it is.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I never had my dogs get captured.
Anyway, I got some more news.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know if you have any more. Do you?
I just got a couple what you're watching.
Okay. So Shazam, Hellboy, blah, blah, blah. I got that. Jonathan Hickman is going to be doing X-Men.
Okay.
That's something that's very interesting to me. I don't really have more details on it. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. They have the first covers out.
When did they release that information? I'm
I don't know.
upset that I didn't see that.
Today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
today.
this is new then.
Yeah. It launches in July. The covers are for House of X #1 and Powers of X #1. and they got the covers out. Just they look really cool.
Oh, I did see this cover. Who's the guy on the front? The X guy.
I don't know, but
I don't know who that is either.
Is it Cyclops?
No, that's definitely not Cyclops. I don't think.
No, Cyclops is in the back there. I don't know who that is. Oh, Charles Xavier. That's Charles Xavier.
Really?
Yep.
That's kind of
wearing a giant X helmet over his head. Anyway, I really like Jonathan Hickman.
East of West is a phenomenal.
East of West. He did this one that was like Gods of something. Oh man, I used to read that book and I really liked it, but I can't remember what it's called.
Gods of something? No,
it was like
the Manhattan Project.
I mean, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh,
but
Projects, Manhattan Projects.
He did do that one. I never read that one.
I just pulled it up. It has the Avengers, East of West, Fantastic Four, FF, Infinity, the Manhattan Project, the New Avengers, the Nightly News, Secret Warriors, Secret Wars. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but anyway, I like. Oh, God is Dead, I think it was called.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it doesn't have that listed.
Yeah, it was an indie book that he did.
Okay.
That I really enjoyed. I'm pretty sure it was him. But anyway, that looks cool. I like him, and I like X-Men, and I have not been reading X-Men for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited that it's a new take that I can get back into. They're doing a lot of, like, if I keep up on the comics news, it seems like they're doing a lot of really cool X-Men stuff. I just haven't been following it. Apparently, there's a new Nightcrawler book that's really good. Is
it? I've heard about it. Who was writing that?
I can't remember. Somebody really famous.
And speaking of comic books, I skipped last weekend, but I plan on doing like a weekend read that I'm going to post on Instagram and Facebook, basically all of our social media. I started it a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to give you guys like a weekly or a weekend read, and then I plan on coming out with every week like a kind of a weekly roundup of like good picks, like good comics you could pick up, because every week new comics come out on Wednesday. So I'm going to pick a few comics that I see on that Wednesday and tell you like, hey, this looks like a good one. This one is a good one. This run's really good. Just a couple like comic book picks that you guys might want to get into or might want to see from us.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Another interesting news that came out, Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel.
Yeah, big gay.
Marvel movies, has said the next 5 years of Marvel Cinematic Universe are fleshed out.
Are going to be dog shit.
And they will be revealed later this year.
Oh, really?
So after Spider-Man Far From Home, it's basically starting from scratch. You know,
Brand new.
They're going to do more Spider-Mans. They're going to do more Doctor Stranges, for sure. They've already said that. They're doing another Black Panther.
But it's a new story arc. It's a whole new story arc of these characters. So the way you can think of it is that that's the way they do comic books a lot, is that you'll have one big story and it ends, and then you get a new story arc. And with this, you can have the same characters. In this world, they're obviously going to change, because we know it's not a surprise. People are going to die in Endgame, you know, and obviously it's not a surprise because people's contracts end.
Right.
So in the movie world, you know when someone's leaving the business or leaving that movie franchise, but a whole new story arc starts, and it's going to be the beginning of something wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's going to be wonderful. If we've seen what they've done for the last, how many years? 10 years? No, 14 years, something like that with these movies.
If anybody out there thinks, what they're going to do now. How could they top this? You don't understand how much story there is out there. The Infinity War story isn't even like the best. Story.
It's not. But they made it
the comic books,
and that's the cool part about all of this stuff, is that they, like we've said before, they've taken so many Guardians of the Galaxy. It was like an unknown comic book to most people, and they put it in the mainstream, you know, and made it something you love. If they can take that stuff and make it something you love, the stuff that the comic book people love, it's going to change the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what they can do with that, as long as they don't F it up.
I think, okay, so if you figure 5 years, you figure 10 movies, right? They're releasing about 2 a year.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be another Doctor Strange. We know there's going to be another Spider-Man. We know there's going to be another Captain Marvel.
Black Panther.
We know there's going to be a Black Panther. There's probably going to be another Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. So that's 5.
Do you think they'll do a Hawkeye?
No.
You don't think
they're done with that character?
You think so?
But we're pretty sure they're getting a Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
They probably could do a Nick Fury movie.
Well, they're doing a Black Widow show, though. I don't know if they would do the movie.
I thought they said they were going to do a movie, but it keeps coming in and out of development.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if they did, given...
I think they're doing a streaming show.
Okay.
For Black Widow, anyways.
And then that leaves like 3. So either new characters or they're going to do Secret Wars.
You think so? I mean, we know that... You know that they're going to start a whole new X-Men run.
How can they not do Secret War? Oh, yeah, X-Men. So they might be doing more than 2 movies a year because they have Wolverine that will come out in the next 5 years.
Yeah. A whole new X-Men world is going to be put upon us. I hope they do a Storm.
Yeah,
like
they could do a
standalone Storm.
They
movie.
will. They'll put Storm in the next Black Panther movie, and then
that lady is nuts.
Because they get married in the comic, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good Storm stuff out there.
There is, like...
They haven't really done that character justice ever.
No, they haven't. Halle Berry, give me a break.
They haven't even come close.
She's overrated.
In the comics, that character is dynamite.
Oh my! She's the most powerful character ever.
Yeah, one of the most powerful in all of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could do so much with that character. She's awesome.
So, I don't know. They could do Secret Wars. They could do Avengers versus X-Men, which I don't think they'll... I think they're going to go away from the Avengers thing.
Yeah.
They're either going to be doing... if there are Avengers, it'll be in the new Avengers or the West Coast Avengers or something along those lines. But, yeah, I think they'll take a break from Hulk, and I think they'll take a break from Iron Man.
I don't see a Hulk coming back anytime soon.
I think they'll take a Captain America break. They've done a lot of Captain America.
Hulk isn't going to get killed.
I think Thor might be back for another movie. Oh, I forgot they're going to do, for sure, another Guardians movie. So,
yeah.
We'll see. I think we'll get a lot of... I don't think we'll get a lot of new character stuff, probably.
Not right off the bat, but, I mean, pretty quick we're going to start getting new character stuff.
Yeah.
Because of the whole Fox merger thing.
So, that's really all I got for the news. What you been watching, Jerry?
So I watched a movie that came out on Netflix that I was kind of excited about, and it didn't really disappoint. It was called Highwaymen.
Oh, I saw that. It looked cool. Well, I mean, I just saw Kevin Costner was in it. So
yeah, Kevin Costner.
I like
and
Kevin Costner.
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen? No,
Woody
Harrelson.
Why was I thinking Woody Allen?
Like, Mr. Costner, what do you...
I'm a little Jewish boy. That's a terrible Woody Allen. We both don't have a good Woody Allen. Woody Harrelson. So, Woody Harrelson is a good actor. I like him. He plays basically the exact same person in every role.
Not in Solo.
Oh yeah, not in Solo, but everything else. Kevin Costner and him have a phenomenal dynamic with each other. I think it's really good. It's similar to me as his dynamic with Matthew McConaughey in True Detective.
Okay.
It's similar to that, and it really honestly feels like the same two characters in a way, just like 40 years, like not that long, but like 20 years down the road. You know what I mean? And also set in the 1920s.
Is it in the 1920s?
It's very early. Whenever
are they cops?
Yes, they're cops, and they're chasing Bonnie and Clyde.
It's as if anything in the world ever existed other than cops.
Based on a true story. Yeah, it's based on a true.
Like what everything is about.
It is. You don't like that either, do you?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just like, just do something else.
Yeah, it's a played story, but this one is at least based in truth.
Yeah,
because it is based in truth. It's really what, not word for word what happened, but they went back. So Kevin Costner plays an old Texas Ranger, and who's the guy that started like the FBI kind of?
Herbert Hoover?
J. Edgar Hoover. Yes.
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover started...
The son of Herbert Hoover.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know if is that true?
Yeah, the
I'm not
reason why
big
they
on-
were so politically involved is because they started the Hoover Vacuum Company.
Now you're just throwing shit out there. Okay. But J. Edgar Hoover did start and Hoover had like a task force sent out to try to get Bonnie and Clyde. And it was just it was very unsuccessful because they kept killing people. And Bonnie and Clyde apparently followed a certain route around the country and kept murdering people. That's all they did. They just go around, murder people, and steal. And there was a Texas governor that was
George Bush,
a woman at the time.
Okay.
It was a woman governor, and which is very surprising to me. At the 20s, they have a woman governor, because couldn't they not vote at this point?
I don't know.
Didn't the women's right to vote was in the mid 20s?
Definitely something I should know since I'm a silver dollar.
Right, you are.
It isn't Susan B. Anthony on a silver dollar.
But I am pretty sure that it was in the 20s that women got the right to vote. Anyway, so there was a woman governor, and she wanted Bonnie and Clyde to be caught. She needed this to stop. It was like a big problem. And someone, I don't remember the guy's, the
1920
was what?
The women had the right to vote.
Okay, so this was mid 20s then. So she had the right to vote because she was a governor. Somebody suggested, why don't we get this one guy, which was Kevin Costner's character. I don't remember his character's name, but why don't we get this guy to go back out and get him like out of retirement to go out and catch these people? And she's like, we don't need these Texas Ranger fellas to come back out. Like, that we're done with that. We have the FBI. These guys are much more qualified to do that. And he told him, no, this is the guy you need to get. So then they go, and she gives him permission to go back and get this guy. Goes to Kevin Costner's house, gets him out of retirement. He agrees to it, and he needs somebody to help him. So he remembers one of his Texas Ranger buddies and stops at his house. He thinks he's a drunk and then leaves. Woody Harrelson ends up finding him in town buying ammunition and guns, and says, like, he's like, I saw you outside the house. He's like, why'd you leave? And he looked at him. He's like, you on the drink again? He's like, sometimes, not all the time. He's like, not enough to make me not want to do this. And so they eventually like come to terms, and they go with each other, and they literally are just driving around the country trying to search for Bonnie and Clyde. And like just like tracing their steps, and they figure out that they have a certain pattern and where they're going to come home to and all of this kind of stuff, and it just follows them. And then the movie ends with the shootout that killed Bonnie and Clyde.
Is this a true story?
Yeah.
The whole thing's a true story.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
So Kevin Costner.
Obviously they take some liberties there, but Kevin Costner is the one who found Bonnie and Clyde. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When he was a child.
Yeah.
Before he was born.
Yeah.
As semen.
So the real Texas Ranger duo found them.
Yes.
And what are Texas Rangers? Are they just like state police? Is it like the Illinois State Police?
I don't really think so.
They
I think
can't have jurisdiction outside of Texas, right?
I don't know if they did or not, I guess.
They're not like U.S. Marshals.
But they were started by, didn't Teddy Roosevelt start the Texas Rangers?
I don't know.
He was a Texas Ranger.
Isn't that the Rough Riders?
Which started the Texas Rangers. Like, that was the beginning.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. This is the podcast we should have had Nate on.
History talk.
Because
with the Snarf.
Yeah, he's all about this. He would have been spouting off facts that I didn't even know existed.
Well, in any case,
he would have been like, they all traveled at 8.4 miles an hour on their horses at their Appaloosas.
Oh wait, were they on horses?
Yeah.
They weren't in cars?
No, not in the movie. I'm saying the Texas Rangers all rode horses.
Okay.
Because it was before cars. Yeah. Because it was in the early 1900s and late 1800s, early 1900s. But by 1920, they were done.
Right. Then they drove Ford Rangers.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. The little pick 'em up trucks. But she makes a comment like, what was it now? She's like, oh, why don't we get Wyatt Earp while we're at it? And I thought that was kind of funny because Wyatt Earp was still alive at the time that this happened. He didn't die until 1929.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
All in all, it's a pretty good movie.
Worth my time.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be worth
precious
your time.
Little of it.
Oh, right, I know you do.
Is it?
It's
should I not
2
write
hours.
the comic book for 2 hours to watch that movie? Because we need to make a lot of progress on
No,
that.
I started writing today. I wrote some today.
Nice.
Finished a page and then started the other page. I'm passing your sex scene. I'm not touching it.
It's done.
Well, no, there's another whole page.
I got to do one more page, but that's easy. I got
Yeah.
that. I already got it figured out.
I started the page after that.
Okay.
Where he goes to the mine.
Gotcha.
You know. Anyway, Highwayman. I would suggest watching it. I would say that if you had 2 hours of time that you didn't feel like you needed to write on the comic book, then watch this movie.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's kind of hard for me to watch anything right now because of what I'm watching,
Okay.
which goes against. I was trying to not do what you're watching until I finish something because I don't want to like keep talking about something that I'm ongoing watching.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching anything, and I won't be for a long time because I'm just tied into this stupid Justified show.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm on season 2 now.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like, it's going to be, I'm in. I'm buckled in.
You're hooked, huh?
It's going to be the next 6 months of my life.
Because the last time I remember you talking about it, you're like, it seems kind of procedural, and I don't know if I'm bought in on that.
It definitely becomes a procedural, but they start by season 2 peppering in a lot more continuing story.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of season 1, it's clear they didn't really know what they wanted the show to be. They started it off with like a 2-3 episode binge of like a single story that was really intriguing, and then they devolved it into a procedural. It was like almost like an intro. Here's an intro so you know everything about the backstory of these characters, and then now it's a procedural. And if you don't know what I mean by procedural, is like every week is a different story. It's basically a different crime or criminal they got to track down, and it wraps up by the end of the episode, which is fine, like a Law and Order type
yeah, that
thing.
can be fine because Law and Order has made that.
Everybody like that's great, but I like it when a story like Game of Thrones or something like that is an ongoing story, and when they can mix the two, like X-Files did, that's great. That's what Justified's starting to do, is mix them together.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the further it goes and the more popular it became, they realized that people like that more than the procedural, and it feels like it's evolving that direction.
Okay.
Which is good.
Man.
The characters are good, the acting's super good, and the character Timothy Oliphant is
I was just going to say,
amazing.
Timothy Oliphant is an amazing actor. I've only seen a couple episodes of Justified, but everything else I've ever seen him in, he like steals the show, man.
It's not like I'm sitting here like it's not one of those that I'm like, I need to binge this. I need to stay up all night and watch it. It's like watch a couple episodes before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it. It's good.
How many episodes a season is there? This is
the
like
first
a 20...
season there wasn't that many. I have no idea now. I'm guessing more as it goes along.
Okay. This kind of bothers me.
If it was 10 episodes a season, I'd be all in. But I'm gonna look tonight, because if I look and I see that there's 5 more seasons at 20 episodes a season, I'm giving up, because not because it's not good. Like, I want to watch it, but I can't spend the rest of my six months of my life doing that.
It's such a time commitment. Yeah, that is a huge time commitment. And so what you're watching, next one that is similar to this is Designated Survivor.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I started watching that, and there's only 2 seasons of this show.
Right.
So that's why I continue to watch it, because there's 24 episodes in the first season. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah. So it's basically like
episodes?
Now that most real television shows like on Netflix and stuff are like 10, 12 episodes, it's basically 4 seasons.
Yeah.
That you got to watch.
I can't do that.
Can't do it. Give
For
up.
one whole season, this is one whole story arc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't handle that. I am going to handle it though for Designated Survivor, just because I know that there's only 2 seasons. There is a 3rd season in production that Netflix took over, and I guarantee you it is not going to be a 20 episode season. No, they don't do that. So that's why I'm kind of in the bag. The big thing that I'm in the bag for about Designated Survivor, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is that they had some really big things happen in the first season, like right in the middle of the season, that kind of blew my mind that they would do. I'd never really seen like these big moments happen in the middle of the season like that. Like towards the end, I know that a lot of those like primetime shows would do that, like at the end of the season. Then you'd have to wait till the next season to see it, and I'm sure they'll do that here. but they also did it in the middle.
Yeah.
To where I was like, where would they
When
go
you have
now?
24 episodes in a season, it means they had a mid-season break.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
The Christmas winter, and then they came back
Yeah.
in the spring.
Can you think about writing a show like that? I know they have a team of writers. They have
that's
a whole
what Walking Dead does. Same thing.
They have a whole writer's room, but
could you imagine?
gosh, you got to you're chewing through story.
Could
So
you
much
imagine
story.
going back, having to go to the beginning and start The Walking Dead? There's like 7-8 seasons of that show.
Yeah,
and they all are like 20 episodes.
Here's some news that I just read today, and you just reminded me of it, is that they have just, AMC has just put on their slate a third Walking Dead show.
Oh, yeah.
Like
and they're making a movie. They're making a couple movies. They're making a whole Walking Dead universe, just as I think the interest in The Walking Dead is starting to peter out.
It's failing. I think it's really
No.
of...
Their ratings are still excellent.
No, I know, but it's really going to... I think you're going to get overloaded on Walking Dead stuff, and it's going to kill it.
Oversaturated, yeah.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. I never watched Fear the Walking Dead. I've heard it's great. I watched the first season. I want to watch it. It's all on my DVR, and now I'm getting to the point where my DVR is full, and I have to delete like 40 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead because I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go back and watch it.
That's how many episodes there are?
Oh, I don't know, but there's a bunch.
Because it's been at least 2 seasons, right?
If I'm going to go back and catch up on anything, it's going to be Preacher probably, which I'm behind on.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched that since the first season.
But I haven't watched anything else because of Justified other than Into the Spider-Verse, which we kind of talked about.
Yes, and I haven't either. I did watch...
We were going to do a review of that movie.
We weren't we?
After I watched it.
I'm not prepared.
No, I'm not prepared for that either. Stay tuned. We'll do that next week.
Yeah, stay tuned, everyone.
I need to watch it again. I want to do a review of that movie because it deserves it.
It does. We should have. Yeah, we should have done it a while ago. Right after I watched it the first time, we should have done a review.
But there's like 2 things. Like I can't keep on the Justified bandwagon because 2 things are happening. Game of Thrones is coming on.
Yeah.
Like next week or something.
No, end of the week, isn't it?
Whenever your birthday is, right?
Yeah, my birthday's the 25th, so it'll be the
2
day
weeks,
the day after.
Whatever. And then American Gods, I've been holding off on because I want to get my free month of Showtime and watch all of it.
Yeah.
That's probably getting close to wrapping up the second season, and I love that show, so I need to watch that. And I haven't watched Doom Patrol yet, which I'm waiting for that to wrap too, so I can
you could just
subscribe and binge.
Yeah. I haven't watched any Doom Patrol. When does...
I've heard really good things about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't really been sold on the whole... I've seen so many trailers for it.
I've heard good things, and I love Doom Patrol. The comics. I have no idea what this show is.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, I know what Doom Patrol is.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know what the comics are. I don't know what they're going to do in this show. I'm assuming... I don't even know how you can adapt those comics. So
Alan Tudyk's in it, though. You got to love it.
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser is the whole robot guy, but you get to see Alan Tudyk, and Alan Tudyk's one of my faves.
Yeah. You know what show I want to watch is The Rookie.
I don't really care about that.
And I don't really like cop shows. I just like Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, just because Nathan Fillion's in it.
Oh, you know what I have been watching? I lied. Marley and Cash got me into American Idol this season.
Oh, really?
So I've been watching it.
I haven't watched much of it. I've watched a couple episodes. You came over to my house when we were recording all those episodes that when Amy was gone. Mm-hmm. American Idol was playing in the background, and you're like, "What are you watching? What are you watching?" That?
I have not. I didn't watch any of the early stuff. Like I've watched the last 2 episodes, was when they got the top 20.
Okay.
And now they're doing like the real show.
Oh.
Like I didn't watch any like going up to that.
Yeah. Okay. When does that come on? Is it only Sunday nights and Monday nights?
Sunday and Monday.
Okay, so I need to watch that.
Man,
it's on tonight.
Oh man,
then, huh?
It's good. Like this season, these people on this show, the top 20.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is like, it is like out of this world. They're like professional, should already be rock stars basically, and then like a handful of that 20, like probably 6 of them are unbelievable.
Really?
And then there's like 2 guys, maybe 2 guys and 1 girl that are. This one guy did this show on the last episode.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
Did this song, and it might have been like the best thing I've ever heard. Like, it was amazing. And I'm like, how is he a contestant on this show? And every one of those judges stood up. Like, it's Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan. They all stood up and they're like, you're better than all of us.
Really?
Like, he was incredible. I don't know the guy's name, but if you watch the show, it's a guy that wears a stocking cap and he's got kind of like a pervy mustache.
Okay.
And he's like,
I'm gonna have to go back and start watching.
Maybe like Latino or something.
I think they'll have that on Hulu, right? Like you could go back and watch previous episodes.
And then there's this one kind of a big fat guy that's kind of country with a real gravelly voice. That's like awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many good people on this show, and I love music.
I do too.
And I really just like American Idol's that's a fun show, man.
I've always watched American Idol, but once it was off and it came back on, I didn't watch that.
This is the first season back on.
No, this is the second.
Oh, it is? So
yeah.
So I only watched maybe 2 seasons of that show ever, and it was early on.
Oh my gosh.
And then I never watched it again.
Amy and I watched American Idol every season.
It's a spectacle, man. It's good TV.
It is very good TV.
I never watched The Voice.
It was better. I feel like it was better before this run started, only because I'm very critical of the judges. So
the judges aren't great this season
and they were on last season too.
I miss Simon Cowell and the old judges.
Lionel Richie and Katy Perry and Luke Bryan. I don't feel like
it's not real criticism.
Those are the people that I would have sit in front of everyone to pick phenomenal singer.
Definitely, not Luke Bryan.
Yeah, not
Katy
Luke Bryan.
Perry's a superstar, so that counts.
She is a superstar, but that doesn't mean you've got a good voice or know how to teach people how to sing.
Well, right. But it's American Idol, not American Singer. They say that a lot.
Well, yeah,
so it's about more than just singing.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a whole package.
I critique the judges more so than I do a lot of the other people on there, just because.
And Lionel Richie, come on.
I like Lionel Richie.
Hello?
I just don't think Luke Bryan and Katy Perry should be on there. I think they're jokes, to be honest. Even though I've had a crush on Katy Perry for a long time.
They're they're too positive.
It's
just like everybody that gets on there is just like, they're like, yep, you're amazing.
Yeah.
But most of them are, to be fair.
A lot of them are. But again, I liked the format of the show and seeing the people so much that I would continue to watch it. I just keep forgetting when it's on, and I don't record anything anymore.
Yeah, you need to watch this season. I think it's really good.
Okay. I'll go back and watch it. But when, like you said, when they get to the top 20, that's
just
the best
top
part.
Don't watch anything before that.
Yeah. I started watching
Actually,
it before
start
that.
after. So they pick the top 20. It's like in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to watch any of that. Watch starting, it would have been last week. So it was the first week they were at like the state, the American Idol stage.
Yeah.
And it was the top 20. And then this week, they're doing duets. So there's 10 on Sunday and 10 tonight on Monday.
Okay. Did you watch it tonight then, or just record it?
No, I recorded it last night. We didn't have it recorded, and we were gone. We didn't get back from Arkansas till late.
Oh,
so I only caught like the last 4 singers, so I didn't really see half of them. But
I was wondering
most of the people that I want to see are on tonight, and I got it recorded. So
okay, there you go.
I'm excited about it.
That's cool. I haven't watched that in a long time. Any type of reality show like that.
I hate reality TV, but this, for some reason,
you do.
I love music, and I like most of these people play instruments, which I really like, and they're just pretty good. Pretty good.
So are we going to go on to the next segment?
What are we at time-wise?
1:28.
Okay, because I got a couple what I've been listening to.
Oh, all right.
Since I had a long road trip, I listened to some Snarf Talk.
Of course you did.
Snarf Talk episode 19 or 18,
yes,
by the way, is gold.
Out of this world.
It's gold.
It is podcast gold.
Yeah.
Platinum.
I mean, we single-handedly are going to bring the word buddled to the masses.
Have you ever been buddled? Because if you haven't, you should be.
But I listened to basically Joe Rogan most of the way.
Okay. Which ones?
Well, I listened to Dr. Phil. That wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't.
But there was 2 that stood out to me. All right. The one was, I think his name was Andrew Yang.
I didn't listen to him.
He is a Democrat running for president in the next election.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He is like I think like a tech entrepreneur who sold his company, so he's like a billionaire now.
Okay.
And his big focus on this election cycle or in the future of the country, the platform he's running on is on AI, essentially. And AI replacing in the next 10 to 20 years a scarily significant portion of
like what we know,
employers, like people's jobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so like he's running on the platform of, hey, does everybody know that in 10 years,
you aren't going to have a job?
10 to 20 years, all vehicles and all semi-trucks are going to be self-driving because it's going to happen.
Do you think that in 10 to 10 years that they could have all semi-trucks self-driving?
That first of all, they already have them.
I know they do already have them.
They have them.
It's in a very restricted area,
yes,
right?
But they have them. They have a very high rate of success, not as high as human drivers yet, but they basically have it nailed down. So they have these, and the other thing is, first of all, they can drive 24 hours a day. They convoy, and it's huge fuel mileage savings because they convoy together. He's saying, I mean, this is going to be a transition. At first, we're going to have self-driving semis with a driver behind the wheel, just like we have Teslas now that are self-driving.
Sure.
And that's going to be one step. And then the next step is going to be, okay, for this stretch of highway from LA to Denver or wherever it is, or outside of cities on big open roads,
yes,
they're going to be self-driving, driverless. And then once you get to the outskirts of Chicago, it's going to pull over and there's going to be a bank of drivers there that are going to drive them into the city.
Okay, that was going to be my question, is that how do you get them to the dock? How do you get them to the shipyard? How do you get them to the places that they need to go to get loaded and unloaded? Because I don't feel like a GPS or satellite system is fine-tuned enough.
Right.
Then again, this is coming from an idiot that has no idea about any of this stuff. How do you get it so fine-tuned? This is going to happen overnight.
This is like in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So they're going to go in those stages. So
especially in big cities like that, like LA has terrible traffic. Chicago isn't the best traffic. New York, all these big cities, having a driverless vehicle seems really kind of ridiculous.
Right. Well, that's how that's going to work essentially. And then
but cross country now, that makes sense to me. Like, especially, have you ever driven through Nebraska? Anyone?
Yeah.
Hold your hand up if you've driven through Nebraska. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. So they'll have these queuing stations where they park and then they get taken manually from there.
That's smart.
And then after that, the next step is they will be remotely driven, just like drones are operated.
Oh.
Okay, so they'll have.
I wasn't aware of that.
And then in the final step, they'll be fully, eventually, self-driving. Everything will be. That's just going to happen.
Everything.
Pretty much at some point. And the reason why this is going to happen with semis faster than anything else is because
I like the idea.
It's because of the economics of it. I mean, there's huge, the cost savings to the companies that are transporting materials are significant. I mean,
I'm sure it is. I mean, even paying the wage of a driver for that many hours, or like per load, or however they're doing it, that has to be an incredible amount of savings.
Right.
And then,
so that's why that technology is being driven so quickly there.
Then again, but then you have to take. So is the vehicle itself, so like the truck itself, just inherently more efficient right off the bat?
Well, I mean, Tesla's making electric semis now that are extremely efficient.
Okay, so most of them are going to be electric then?
Probably. I think everything's going to be electric within the next 10 years.
Because I was going to say, like, when you talk about having a vehicle driving 24 hours, you've got to start worrying about, like, wear and engine hours and all of that stuff. Like,
they're all making electric semis. Peterbilt, Kenworth.
But so if you have a 24-hour driving semi and a wheel bearing goes out, it's going to have to monitor all of that stuff, right?
It'll all get addressed. It's all going to happen.
But are you addressing it, Chris? That's my question. Are you addressing these things?
My point is, at the pace things are going, it's going to happen. So that's 3.5 million semi-drivers alone. We're not talking about Uber drivers or taxi drivers or any of that.
Gone.
And then all the support for that, so truck stops and diners and everything that supports truck drivers.
Yeah.
Which is it's another 5 million people. And then...
So how does that I mean, this doesn't sound good for the economy.
The next
at
segment
all.
of the economy to go, or before that even maybe, is retail work in general, all of it.
Yeah.
Basically, 20% of retail now or something along those lines is all Amazon. And that's all fulfilled by warehouses full of robots, essentially. And will only be getting more so.
So what's the upside here besides for the company?
Well, the upside, I mean, it's more complicated than we could probably get into. Listen to that podcast. They go into that in depth. There's definitely upside. I mean, eventually the driverless semis will be much safer. And
I'm saying for our economy in the United States, how is there an upside when you are losing so many jobs and then you're going to have your unemployment rate skyrocket?
Well, this is the argument that he's tackling. This is the platform that he's running on. He's saying, we're going to displace, I don't know what it was, but call it 20% of the workforce is going to be out of work. All right.
Yeah.
So we have to either retrain them for something else, or we have to approach everything completely differently, because the economy will grow from that because of the efficiency. Everything grows with efficiency. The GDP might actually grow. The quality of living might go down. GDP can go up while quality of living can go down.
That doesn't sound good.
There's good and bad to all of it, but his solution to all of it is universal basic income. That's what he's running on.
So explain that.
They're calling it the freedom dividend because it polls better. But the idea behind it is, and there's a lot of different models out there. These aren't new. This isn't a new idea.
Right.
Some of this goes back to Milton Friedman, who was a conservative economist.
And that was Herbert Hoover's cousin,
Yes.
I believe, right?
Yeah. He actually started Dyson.
Right. And he got
the competitor.
What he invented was that spinny brush underneath underneath of the
That's
Hoover.
Right. Yeah.
They had the suction down.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how to pull the dirt
They knew how
from
to
the
suck.
threads. Yeah.
But they didn't know how to brush.
They can, in Oric, don't even get me in the Oric XL, because that thing can suck a bowling ball right off your head.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the shark, come on.
You can't beat a shark. I have a shark.
Speaking of sharks, did you see they were doing a screening of Jaws over the water?
In the water. You're in a tube, like a floaty tube. Yeah.
Anyway, that was cool. But anyway, the idea, now his proposal is that every person in America will get $1,000 a month
from the government.
Okay. Everybody will get $1,000 a month. So that's not enough to replace a lost job. That's $12,000 a year.
No, that's not.
But the idea is that it takes the pressure off and makes it easier. And then on top of that, they need to redo the government's really bad at retraining people for new jobs. They're awful at it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So they need to fix that whole situation.
I don't feel like it's the government's job to retrain people for jobs.
No, he's saying it's going to have to be. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just telling you this is what this guy's platform is. It's interesting that he's bringing up things that are going to happen and nobody else is talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe you agree with the solution or his solution or not. The idea behind this universal basic income is interesting for sure. It
is interesting.
The idea is that apparently it'll cost about $3.5 trillion per year.
Huh.
Okay.
How do you replace that?
Well, he spells it all out. I don't know if I believe what he says, but he's saying about half of that will be, so if you're already getting government services such as like food stamps or welfare or stuff like that, that would be deducted out of your dividend.
Okay.
So he's saying, well, half of that we're already paying essentially through government services. So really it's only like 1.8 trillion. Okay. Well, the $1,000 you get, you're going to go back and spend in the economy. Most people are going to go spend that money. So we'll get about $800 billion in new tax revenue. So that brings it down to $1 trillion. And then there was something else that took care of the trillion. Basically, he was saying it was a net.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you give people $1,000 a month, they're going to spend it.
You're right.
So
they are, but
are they going to spend it on Chinese-made products?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
And I don't know. There's a circle there, because it's like if you didn't lose the jobs to begin with, the people are already spending their money.
Well, you can't legislate away progress, though, like as far as technological progress.
Yeah.
So it's never going to work to say, oh, let's make driverless cars illegal.
No, you can't do that.
Or let's make kiosks at McDonald's illegal. It's not going to happen.
No, that'll never happen. And
so you got to figure out something. What are you going to do with all these people?
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to happen. It already is happening.
Yeah.
Where it happened in the Industrial Revolution in the 1900s, early 1900s. And it's happening again at a scale 3 to 4 times that scale.
And what's pushing that a little bit faster is the whole thing with like minimum wage being $15, and then what those companies are doing is just saying, okay, well, we'll pay 2 people $15 an hour, and then just put all kiosks.
Yeah, right. And there's no stopping that.
No, there isn't. And you can't, like you said, you can't tell a company it's illegal to do that.
So instead of getting wrapped around in all this, bullshit, let's figure out how to fix that. And according to him, and a lot of people, in fact, and a lot of Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, all sides. There's people on all sides that are, not necessarily in favor, but interested in this idea of universal basic income.
Okay.
I don't know if I buy it, but
I don't know if I've really even heard of it before. I'm not as deep into politics as you, apparently. You're so
he
political.
was, that was the other big funding part would be a VAT tax, which is done in Europe a lot, a value added tax. So it's like a sales tax kind of.
Okay.
But the idea was you would start taxing the tech companies for the technology that's replacing all these people's jobs. So some of that funding would come.
Okay. That makes sense. I could see that.
To an extent, yeah.
Well, right. All of this makes sense to an extent, but there's always another side.
Here's what his big argument, he goes, well, Joe Rogan said, you're never going to get Republicans or conservatives on board with this. And he goes, listen, rural America is dying.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah, it is.
And you put $1,000 a month in all these people's pockets. All of a sudden, the guy that wants to open a bakery in a little rural town
might have the incentive to do that.
Might have a shot at it if people have the money to spend there.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting because I started thinking of other aspects too. I'm like, think how much money you spend on childcare. Okay, think how many people.
I don't want to think about how much money I spend.
Think how many people would want to stay home and raise their kids, but they can't because they can't afford to. So they go out and get a job. They make $40,000 a year and spend 30 in childcare. So they're netting $10,000, say.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you give that person $12,000 a year and 24 for a couple. All right.
Yeah.
And it all of a sudden the incentive is stay home and raise your kids.
So is that a thing where it won't go by like a marriage would get $1,500 instead of $2,000?
I don't know. He didn't address that. I would assume they would get $2,000 because it was every person gets $1,000. I think it was 18 and up.
I was just gonna say of the age of what? You know what else they did just recently? I just saw that they are going to do in Illinois is raise the legal tobacco age up to 21.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me in the slightest.
So Alaska, a deep red state, has had universal basic income for 30 plus years. Every person that lives in Alaska gets an oil dividend.
I knew that.
It's the same thing.
But it's like $500, right?
I think it's like I don't know what it is, but it's a good chunk of money. It's like $1,500 or something. I don't know if that's per year or month. I'm assuming that's per year. I don't really know. But they've had that. It's wildly successful. It's worked. Now, they're doing it because they have oil money.
Right, because of the pipelines.
But he's saying, we're going to have money. These tech companies are going to have all the money.
All the monies.
You know what I mean? So we just need to find a way to raise some of it. But he's saying it's not all coming from them. And, Amazon's going to be fine with paying out their share because all of their customers now have $1,000 a month more to spend. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's interesting. And if you can think of it and take your partisan tribal politics and put it aside,
very tribal,
and you can think about it in an objective way, there's definitely pros and cons. And obviously I think this guy is like rose-colored glasses to the max because there's lots of things that just aren't going to work in the real world.
Yeah. Does he seem kind of like a dreamer?
I mean, honestly, he comes across as a very smart, like corporate CEO type, like not a politician at all.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like, okay, he's going to go to Iowa and New Hampshire for the first polls, and he's going to go on a platform and he's going to say, I want to give everybody $1,000 a month. I would think that's going to be pretty wildly popular.
It would.
So I think this guy might have a shot of actually running for president.
What's he running as?
A Democrat.
Oh, Democrat.
Because he's like, I'm not really here nor there on politics. He's like, but I can't run as a Republican because I wouldn't get a...
Yeah, nobody will take him. He wouldn't get a vote.
He's not going to... Yeah, you got an incumbent Republican president. So
right.
He's going to run as a Democrat.
So let's get to the brass tacks of this. So if I'm going to waste 2 hours of my life not writing our comic book, would I do it listening to this episode of Joe Rogan?
Yeah, if you got to drive somewhere, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's worth it.
Good thing I drive every day, huh? 35 minutes one way.
Yeah. Don't listen to it instead of Snarf Talk, but it's
I would much rather listen to Snarf Talk.
I thought it was interesting. He's also wanting to lift the federal ban on marijuana, make it legal federally.
Okay. That could give you a lot of money to the government. So
leave it up to the states, though, whether or not to legalize it. Just it wouldn't be illegal on the federal level.
Yeah.
And then he wants to pardon every nonviolent drug offender that has for marijuana.
For marijuana.
Because once it's not illegal, you can't keep people in jail.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was interesting. So anyway, that was one I listened to. I thought it was cool and definitely worth listening to. Another one was, his newest one was Kevin Hart.
Yeah, didn't that come out like today?
Yeah, well, no, not today because I listened to it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Sunday, yeah. That's when I listened to it.
Yeah, it would have been
yesterday.
Over the weekend.
Anyway, I thought that was cool. He's like super hardworking, ambitious, positive guy.
Yes. So I listened to the first hour and 15 of this, I think, or hour and 10. It's a 2 hour.
Yeah.
2 hour and 4 minutes, something like that. He's very...
It was inspiring a little bit for me, I thought.
He surprised me because I didn't realize how... he talked about like financial sense, like being... what am I trying to say? Like being...
Fiscally responsible.
That's the word. Fiscally responsible in your life and paying attention to what you're doing with your money. And instead of saying, like he was saying, like low income situations or people that get money given to them, instead of buying the gold chain or buying the nice car, like invest your money properly and be responsible with what you have and build something that makes you money.
Build wealth. Yeah.
Yes. Instead of getting something, just in front of you at the time, something materialistic. Like build something around you so then later in life you can say, this is what I have.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. I did not know he was like that.
I thought that was cool. And then I really liked he's very positive, and he talked a lot about surrounding yourself with positive people. And it's something that me and you have talked about before because
for sure
the world is so negative right now.
Yeah. And
everybody is so negative. And he says it in there. He's like, it's cool to be negative. It's cool to be a hater now.
Yeah. He talks about the internet and stuff.
And, he's like, surround yourself with positive people. And then it hit me too when he was talking about if you start something, finish it. And that hit me with like what we're doing with the comic book. I'm like, all right, surround yourself with positive energy, positive people. If you're going to start it, just work at it, finish it. Do what you need to do. And
a good point to that was when he said, he's like, there's so many haters and it's cool to be that way because he said, I was driving a car and he started laughing like hysterically when he said it. It was towards the beginning, but he's like, I was driving. He's like, and a woman, and I had my window down. He's like, and a woman saw me and she yelled, when are you going to start making good movies again? And he looked at her and he's like, well, have you seen,
Upside?
Have you seen The Upside? She's like, oh, what's that? He's like, I think it's kind of a good movie that just came out.
It's in theaters, yeah.
He's like, but have you seen it? She's like, no, I don't know what that is. Okay. Then why are you yelling at me about not making good movies when you have no basis of saying, like, I haven't made a good movie when you haven't seen all my movies? If you've seen every single one of them and came to me and said, when are you going to start making good movies? I'm like, okay, well, that's your opinion. You know?
It's like your opinion, man.
But when you yell at someone and then have never seen all of his movies, like, what are you talking about? But he says in that though too, he's like, I could be mean back. He's like, there's so many things I could have said back to this woman. He's like, but what does that gain me? Nothing.
Right.
He's like, and it doesn't gain her anything. He's like, it is what it is. He's like, if I can be a positive person in that moment, he said, then other people can be positive in moments where, you know, they're being like yelled at or harassed or whatever. But that was the big like takeaway, was just be positive in situations where others wouldn't be,
right?
You know,
it kind of honestly like it made me think of our podcast in a good way, because I'm like, and people have said this before. They're like, I've always caught shit for this my whole life. Everybody, my family, they're like, you like everything. You like every movie you see. Every movie you see, you come and tell us how great it is, and we need to go see it. And then they go see it and they don't like it. I'm like, I don't know. I just like everything because I choose not to look at the negatives of it. And I'm not saying I'm not going to I said Arrival sucked.
Yeah, you did.
But in general, like I do. Most things that I see, I like. Mm-hmm. And because you can always find some positive spin on it, something.
Yes, that was what he said. He's like, find the positive.
And I thought about that before on our podcast. I'm like, we got to like, everything that we talk about is like, good. We love it. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. But
that was the basis of this show, is like, we do like a lot of things, and we wanted to just talk about it,
right,
and share it with other people, because I feel like other people will like this stuff too if you give it the opportunity. Especially
if you put that mindset like, I don't have to be negative. Like I can find the positive.
There doesn't have to be the immediate judgment of something. And it goes back to the old saying, obviously, of like, judge a book by its cover. You don't have to do that. Like, give something the opportunity. If you don't like it at the end, that's fine. But at least you're giving it the opportunity, because if you don't know what you like.
Well, and don't look at it from a negative standpoint. You know, like,
right.
Look at it from a positive standpoint. Like, don't think of why that thing sucked. Think about why it was good.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you'll like it. And then you can still be like, you know, whatever, it wasn't for me. Or, you know, I didn't think it was that good. It's fine to say, like, objectively, I don't think this is very good, and here are the reasons why. But, you know, you got to be a little less critical of things.
Yes. And that's
he talks about that too. He's like, perfection as the enemy of everything.
For sure. Nothing's perfect.
But he says, like, everybody expects, like, this is an expectation now. This is why so many people are unhappy, because everybody has an expectation of perfection all the time.
Because you can make things look perfect. And social media is obviously the backdrop of all of that. You can look at social media and think someone has it all put together, but then at home, they don't.
Right.
Nobody does. None of us have everything put together, but you can put a filter on something and make yourself look good.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it is. But don't
strive for it even.
Exactly. Don't strive to look fake, or like to put on a show just for the internet's sake, you know? Just do you.
Right.
You do you, I'll do me, and we can all be happy doing that.
Yeah. And that's like, I'm taking a lot of his messages in that podcast and applying it towards our comic book writing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those, because obviously he's an artist, so a lot of the stuff he talked about really hit home with me, because I'm like, all right, do this, finish it, put the work in, don't worry about being perfect, get the idea out there you want to get out there. And, you know, I've been really excited because I think we've been making progress, but then last week I felt really good because we found an artist or two artists that we really liked, and we didn't sign them or anything, but they showed interest. I talked to them. They seemed like, I don't know how much it would cost. Two of them were genuine people. One of them was like in our price range.
Sure.
It seemed like we could totally work with this guy. And then I found a colorist who seemed interested.
Yeah.
I don't know what his price range is, but seemed cool and interested, and I'm excited. Like, it got me excited.
Yeah.
And it made me want to finish it like now.
I agree. I completely agree.
And now we're like getting to the point of our lives for the next 2 months where that's going to be very difficult.
It is very difficult, but it happens every year. This is the way it happens for us, but that's all right. I liked too how he kind of humanized himself in a way, and humanized like really, really popular people, because he said, he's like, everybody looks at me some of the time, not everyone, looks at me like a dick sometimes, because he's like, they'll come up to me. He's like, and it's not them coming up to me and shaking their hand or like sticking their hand out saying like, hey man, good work on this, or I like what you're doing here. He said they come up to me with their phone up in front of them saying like, hey, stand there for a second. Let me get a picture of you, or let me get this. Or he's like, and they always have that phone in between you.
Yeah.
He said, that's not a personal interaction. That's not you greeting me and saying like, I like your work. That's you greeting me almost. I kept thinking it. He never said it, but like the monkey on the stage, like perform for me. You know, that's how everyone perceives them. Like, you are the performer. I want you to perform for me right now so I can tell others I saw it in person, rather than coming up, shaking my hand and saying like,
having a genuine moment.
Yeah. A personal, genuine human interaction, rather than having some device in between you, which separates that human interaction.
Yeah.
And that really struck me like, oh man, we all do that. And we've talked about it with comic book artists and writers and all these things. Like, they are just normal people, regardless of how much money. Again, money does change people, but regardless of how much money they have, they are just a human being living their life.
Right.
Act that way.
Right.
Act like they are that person. And it could really change the interaction that you have with them.
Yeah, and you could get a lot more out of it. So, we have time for...
we have 4 minutes.
Oh,
but
no.
We could get through some. It's 1:56.
Well, I want to keep it under 2 hours.
I know you do. Then we're at the end of the show, Chris.
I really want to do What's in the Box, because this box came this week.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's new stuff.
It's new stuff.
Wait, we can do it. We got 4 minutes. Huh? Yes? No?
Okay, fine.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Show me what's in that box.
Oh,
show me your box.
This is one just for you, Jerry.
Ooh. I see a woman on the cover.
Nope, that's the back cover.
I see a woman on the back cover, which is Brie Larson.
This
who
came
is
out
Captain Marvel.
this week, and we saw this guy. We went to his workshop. Kyle Higgins.
Oh, Mr. Kyle Higgins.
Winter Soldier #4.
That looks awesome.
That does look awesome. So
I should read that, because I'm a huge fan of Ed Brubaker's Winter Soldier run, and he talked a lot about Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious as to how he's going to play that out. And I guess he said he brought that back to Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said he brings all of his stuff back to Chicago, apparently.
This looks awesome. I'm excited for it. I know he was saying, I don't know if this is direction in the book now, but he was saying basically the Winter Soldier, he tried to reinvent the character.
Yeah.
So he became like a...
I remember. He was like teaching others how to
get out. Like teaching
that's
like
right. How to
bad guys, like Hydra agents, like how to get out of the organization they're in, because he has that life experience.
Yeah, like rehabilitating bad guys.
Yeah, so that seems cool. We have an Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Part 1, The Hunted, Part 1. It's a cool cover.
It's a very dark cover for Spidey.
Craven, the Hunter, on the cover. Number 17. That looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dead Man Logan.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't realize that was out.
Yeah, 5 out of 12. So we're about halfway through that run,
Because I talked about that on a podcast, how they were coming out with Dead Man Logan.
So that looks cool.
I got to wait another 7 months for that then?
Yeah.
For it to be done?
All right. I thought I had cut down on my comic books.
You didn't.
Apparently, I did not do that. I just changed my comic books. I did subscribe to Ascender, that new Jeff Lemire.
Oh, yeah, I saw
book.
that. It wasn't... Ascender is after Descender.
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Because he's had a lot of stuff on Twitter that was saying, if you haven't read Descender, don't worry about it. Ascender is a completely separate story.
Oh, these look great. All right. Batman, Tom King, number 66.
Yeah, that looks really great.
Maelstrom of the Mind. It's got Catwoman, Penguin, Joker, Two-Face on the cover. That looks cool.
You've probably got number 67 in there as well, then, I bet.
I probably do. It comes out twice a month. So
yeah.
We have Deadpool, number 10.
Who's on the cover there?
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
But it looks cool.
There's like a lot of electricity flowing or something.
We got Amazing Spider-Man, The Hunted.
Nice. That's a cool cover. I like that. He's like hiding behind.
Black Cat is one of my favorite characters.
Really?
Love Black Cat. I think I have the first appearance of Black Cat.
She sounds kind of unlucky. Get it?
Got Star Wars number 62, Kieran Gillen.
Ooh, he's good. It's another Leia cover.
Another one. They like to do Leia covers.
They do. She's on like every cover.
Walking Dead number 189. We're getting dangerously close to 200. And Walking Dead, that's going to be a big deal.
Is it?
Yes.
To who?
To me.
A lot of people,
and
actually.
the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Oh.
So many books.
I didn't even know. I don't know about this. Maybe this book came free because I don't think I subscribed to it.
Do they do that? They just give you free books?
Sometimes.
For what reason?
Promotional, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Ooh, look at that. The Flash.
I don't know why I don't subscribe to Flash, but it must be because it's Batman related. I don't really know. It's got Batman on the cover.
Yeah. Is that part of... Is that
Gotham Girl? I don't know.
It says Gotham Girl right on the cover.
Oh, yeah. That's Gotham Girl on the cover.
Gotham Girl dies or something?
The Price Part 4. So, I don't know. Must be a crossover event. I don't know why I'm getting that. Daredevil number 2. Look at that cover.
Oh, gosh, it's so good.
Oh, my God.
Those covers are awesome. You probably have number 3 in there, too, because 3's out.
Yeah, the art looks amazing on that.
It's unbelievable. I read that already, and I've read number 3. I think 4 comes out next week.
Road to the Hunted. Amazing Spider-Man number 16.
How many Amazing Spider-Mans come out a month?
A lot.
Do they come out once a week?
A lot.
Is this a thing?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I may recap some of these books in my weekly read for you guys because they're good. I'm going to tell you to read Daredevil every single week because this new run of Daredevil is awesome. There's only been 4 books out.
Batman number 65, The Price of Vengeance Part 3. This is not Tom King.
No, it's not. That's part of the Flash thing.
It's part of the Flash crossover, so that must be why. I think when you subscribe to Batman, you can like select to subscribe to like all Batman.
Okay.
So that must be what happened there.
Yeah. There are so many books in this box. It's incredible.
All right, we got...
Oh my gosh, another.
The Flash, The Price of Innocence Part 2. All right. Winter Soldier number 3. This must be 2 months worth of book.
It has to be.
Kyle Higgins again. Cool looking cover there.
It is. Who's the artist on that? Do you know?
Rod Reese.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to hit him up.
Another Amazing Spider-Man.
Gosh.
Well, look at that cover, man.
Yeah, once again.
Spider-Man covers are the best.
You can't beat a good picture of Spider-Man swinging in the air. You can't. It's so cool.
Then we got
another Dead Man
Logan. Number 4 of 12, Dead Man Logan.
That looks really cool, too.
Looks cool.
These cover artists, they know what they're doing.
Oh, and I got one more book that when I was in Arkansas, I got to visit my cousin, who I don't see very often. I don't know how much time we got. I can go into this. I have a cousin that hopefully he's listening. Shout out.
Yeah.
Lived with us when I was a kid. He lived with us for a while, so he went to school here for some years.
Oh, all right.
That's probably, I guess, when I was talking about, I don't know if I mentioned it in our Secret Origins episode, but one of the probably big reasons I got into any of this, comics, anything like that, because he was an artist.
Yeah.
And he drew, and he was into comic books. When I was a kid, this was in the 80s, so I was a pretty little kid.
Awesome.
And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Because it is.
And he drew, and he was into, like, Akira and a lot of that kind of stuff, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Daredevil, Elektra, like a lot of that stuff. He had a really cool, and he was an artist, and he had a really cool art style. And anyway, so I was talking to him down there. I didn't really know he was still collecting comics or had comics.
Right.
But he did, and he didn't know that I collected comics, so we got to talking about it. So I'm like, hey, bring over some of your comics. So he came over to my the house that we rented, and he brought some comics. He gave me this one, which I've never heard of, Cerebus.
Cerebus?
He has like the whole run. This is from the 90s. This one's Cerebus Jam #1. So I'm going to check that out. He told me it was really cool. He was just going on and on about the different artists on all these books that he had and the art style. So he was very into all that. I haven't looked into it yet. But anyway, he wanted to bring over his comic and ask me, you know, if he had anything that was worth anything. And all his comics were in fantastic condition. Like, never read, immediately bagged and boarded.
Yeah.
So I start going through this stack of books that he brought, which isn't even all the books he's got. And, you know, I'm going a lot of X-Men, right? And I'm like, you know, some of these old X-Men, he had X-Men, you know, under 100.
Under 100.
So
all of them under 100?
No, not all of them.
Oh, I was going to say,
he had
holy
that, he'd be
crap.
rich beyond his... But he had like, and he said he had earlier X-Men that he didn't even bring. The earliest one that I saw was like 61 or 2 or something like that.
Okay.
So I think that's going back into the early 70s.
It's a ways.
So I'm looking through and bam, X-Men number 100, which I know is a famous cover, and it's the origin of the Phoenix, or the beginning of the Phoenix, not the first appearance, but so I'm looking up this book. I'm like, and it's in like perfect condition.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this book is worth like, I mean, it ranges. It's not like a super popular book, but it, you know, it's worth like $50. Like, I'm like,
sure,
this is an awesome book, you know?
Yeah.
And then bam, he's got 101, which is first appearance of the Phoenix.
Holy cow.
Now, I don't know what condition it is. It wasn't a 9 point anything. It was.
You don't think so?
It's probably a 7 or 8 grade, but I mean, that book ranges in price anywhere from $50 on a low grade up to $1,500 on a really high grade.
That's incredible.
And I'm like, man.
And it is incredible how much those books will fluctuate, just going from, let's say, a 9.4 to a 9.2.
Yeah.
You know, you could drop $300 or $400,
yeah,
if not more.
And that's graded, obviously,
right,
and to the right person. There's,
yep.
You know, I mean, you could get $50. You can't say hey, this book's worth $600 because you have to have it graded. It has to grade out high. You have to find somebody willing to pay you $600.
Yeah, it has to be wanted
right,
by people.
You know, just because there are people that have paid $600 doesn't mean that a book's worth $600.
Yes.
You know, but and then he had a bunch of other X-Men key issues going past that. I can't remember specifically which ones, but he had some other key, because I was looking them up as I was going. He had a whole stack. He had like the whole run of Uncanny X-Men.
Wow.
I think that was from the 80s or 90s. And then I get in there and he's got like original first edition Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think in that box he had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh my gosh.
Not super valuable, but really cool to have.
It's cool to have because of a first run like that.
Now, he had told me he had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. And I'm like, do you have that book? And he's like, yeah, I had that book. It probably is in one of my other boxes. I'm pretty sure I have it. He's like, why? Is that worth something? I'm like, that's worth like $8,000-$10,000.
Yes. It would be, even if it's low graded.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know. I mean, there was several printings. There's the first, second, and third printing. Even the second one's worth some money.
Even if you had
it's not worth $1,000. You know, it's worth less than $1,000. But the first printing was a really small run. That book was an independent. Those guys like made it out of their freaking garage.
Yeah.
So like, the odds are he doesn't have a first edition.
How many do you think were made?
Maybe 500.
Really?
I don't even know. Not many.
Now I want to know if he does have that or not.
I do too. And then he had some early Daredevil, like under 20.
Oh my gosh.
In a pretty high grades.
Don't you have that?
Yeah, I had a bunch of the same Daredevils in way lower grades. You get into those teens and the 20s, they're not really specifically worth that much. They're really cool to have.
Yeah, for sure.
We've
talked about this
before. Daredevil book, any book from the 60s that grades out above a 7 or an 8 is worth something.
Yep.
Whether it's worth $50 or $100, I mean, it's probably not worth more than $100 unless it's a key issue.
Yeah. This is like, it's like art. It is art collecting.
Well, there's key issues to all these runs. Like anything old that's in good shape is worth a good amount. But a key issue that's old and in good shape is worth a fortune. You know?
That's what adds your value right there.
And specifically first appearances of characters.
Yes.
But he had some old Spawn, like some of the early Spawn stuff.
That's awesome.
He had this whole run, and I can't remember the name of the artist. He was really interested in showing me this one artist. And he did Elektra Assassin in the 90s. It was like a 12-issue run. The art is incredible. I can't remember the guy's name. It's killing me right now. The books aren't worth anything, but
But the art
The art is amazing.
Yeah.
And then he had a lot of the same Daredevils I have, like the first appearance of Elektra. I think he's got the death of Elektra. Those are worth something.
Wow.
He had the whole set of Akira, which were like they were like graphic novels. There was like, I don't know, there wasn't a ton. I think there was like 12 or something.
Oh, I thought
they're thicker. They're not normal comic books. They're like not a graphic novel or not a trade paperback though. They're like in between. Mm-hmm. He had all those. He had the whole Frank Miller Ronin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd like to read that.
He had that Wolverine run with the Silver Samurai.
Yeah.
And he was showing me the art in there. He's like, it's like 3 pages of a fight scene with no dialogue.
Holy
it's
smokes.
really cool looking.
That really shows you, I mean, it's interesting to us because of writing a comic book, but it shows you how little you really need to write for dialogue wise when it comes to a visual medium. You forget when you're writing these books that it is a visual medium and you don't have to put so much dialogue down.
Right.
Now you can. There are specific books that have a lot of words. But to get your point across and to make a really good book, you don't have to. You don't have to do it.
What I just thought was super cool is that all of these books, a lot of them are older, were in like perfect condition. And it's not like they've been specifically, I mean, he's not like babying them or taking care of them. They've basically just been sitting in a box. But he's like, no, I never read them. I just bought them and collected them. And
which is exactly in the situation that you are in. In 20 years, you're going to be like, I've never read any of these, but I have them.
Well, and I thought it was cool too, is like he didn't know some of these books. I mean, a lot of them are specifically valuable. Some of them are very valuable.
Yeah.
And he didn't know that at all.
Right.
And I hope he doesn't sell them. Don't sell them.
Yes, please don't sell them.
Or if you do, sell them to me. Or give them to me.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool.
I really want that first appearance of Phoenix. And after that, I got obsessed with that book and I'm looking it up. I'm like, I really want to buy it because you can buy it pretty reasonably. It's a really hot book right now with that movie coming out.
With the movie, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But like in a high grade of that book, it can get up over $1,000.
That's so cool.
And by looking at his, I didn't open it up. You know, might have yellow pages or whatever.
Right.
But it looked like it was a pretty high grade.
That would be really fun to run into. I've never ran into a situation like that where a guy just has, I mean, and it's a family member of yours, but just in general, a person that has that many books.
Yeah. And he said he had 2 more boxes at home he didn't even bring. And he's like, it's too heavy to lug them all over here.
The fact of being unaware, like having this collection, but yet being unaware of the value that's there.
Well, and I just liked it because he has them because he loves the art. Mm-hmm. Just specifically the art.
That's why I keep saying it is art collection.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people aren't looking at the value of them. It's just because you like the art, you like the way it looks, and you want to have that.
Yeah.
And that is what drives value, is that a lot of people start to like this art and want to keep it.
Right.
He has it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
So open offer, X-Men 100 and 101. My cousin Ted. Yeah. I'll give you $200
right now, cash money
for both of them. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal for ungraded, and I don't know if they're going to grade out at.
There you go.
Plus, there's a cost in that. Like it's going to cost
to get them graded,
$100 to get them graded each, and then 6 months. Sometimes it can take 6 months.
Does it really? Depending on the backlog of stuff.
And whatever. I just want those books. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. And I told him all about the comic book we're writing, and he's going to hopefully listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, are you still drawing? He goes, yeah, I draw all the time. He draws.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when we get this book, we'll have you draw something. I mean, I'm not the sequentials. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. He does more like
cover art.
Yeah. Or like a single drawing. I don't know what you call that, or portrait or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's going to be pages on the inside where we can do concept art or stuff like that. I'm like, it would be cool to have him draw a page and put it somewhere in that comic.
Yeah, we could do that easily. Or we could have him draw that IKEA story we got. Copyright Chris and Jerry.
Yeah.
I was just talking about that story the other day. I really want to finish
I love that story, man.
So do I. I think about it all the time.
We'll talk about that story that comic idea next time, because it's going to be one that we're going to work on after Jetpack Samurai. Well, after we finish Jetpack Samurai,
yes,
we're going to write more Jetpack Samurai.
We absolutely are,
and maybe more Fourth Reich. So we'll see.
We got a lot on our plate. We got a lot, but we're professional writers now, Chris. Yeah. So that's what we do.
All right, way over 2 hours again. Now I got to edit for like hours.
Yes, you do.
For the YouTube audience.
You're welcome. This is what we do for you guys. This is all what we do for you because it's fun and we love it.
For Snarf Talk this week,
number 20.
This is Chris.
I'm Jerry.
See ya.
Bye.